All right, let's get some. I'll put some hat and sunnies on here because his light's getting bright. All right, let's crank the lights. Here's ring light. Boom. Oh, that is bright. And we're going to talk about maximizing weight loss here. So ask any questions. Any questions. It can be on any topic. If you've got any weight loss questions, we'll start with that. Let me just read up while we're getting started here. This was Instagram. I do have an Instagram account. It is shadow banned. But if you type in durianrider.pragmabikes, you'll come up there. Can I even get Pragma bikes at the moment? I can't. It's the stock is super low because I'm using an OEM supplier that also supply Specialized, Cervelo, and a Giant, etc. So obviously, I'm just a small, very, very small drop in the cycling industry in terms of bike sales. So, I don't get so much in the way of being able to demand certain stocks. So there is a massive backlog of orders for the other brands at the moment. So once that's done, then we'll be able to get the Pragma back and running, hopefully. But until then, if you do want a really, really good frame, check out the Windspace SLC rim brake, or even their gravel bike's really good as well. And if you want one of those, use the code called durianrider10 for 10% off any Windspace product. I've got the SLC with me, and we'll do some more videos. That is a fantastic bike as well. All right, we'll just got a quick one here. This is from an Instagram. This is from Troy. Hey, Durianrider, I'm from Australia. I live in the USA the last 10 years. I'm 35 in May. Type 1 diabetic since 8. So Troy, type 1 diabetic since 8. Type 1 meaning you need insulin. If you don't get insulin, you don't inject insulin exogenously, you will die in a day or 3 or however. You will die. So you insulin-dependent diabetic. I've tried and tested every diet known to man. And I can say without a doubt, this is the only way for a type 1 diabetic. I'm referring to what I recommend, my protocols. Eating this way is effortless. I eat frosted cornflakes with added sugar, something I'd never attempt, but now my blood sugar levels stay stable. I just rode an hour on the trainer, only my 4th ever ride. Told my wife last night after 11 out of 10 fuck sesh that I think I found the secret to vitality. Thanks, bro. It's all about that sugar. And keeping the fat intake low, because fat, that's why all the people on a keto diet, have insulin resistance. All of them. If you got any friends who are doing keto or high fat diet, ask them politely. Say, do a glucose oral tolerance test where you get given some glucose by the doctor, and then they measure your measure sugar afterwards, and it's always insulin resistant or varying levels of insulin resistance. So if you want to increase insulin sensitivity, aka feel better, lose weight, have less numbers on the scale, then decrease that fat intake. Every gram of fat you eat triggers more insulin resistance. Human adult only needs maybe 2 or 3 grams of fat a day. 10 grams of fat, that's ample. So if you're having 20, 30, 100 grams of fat a day and you're wondering why you can't shed much body weight, all you have to do is crash diets. Like even the keto people have to do these crash diets, like 1 meal a day, heaps of phentermine or heaps of caffeine, boom, 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 smoking cigarettes, brush your teeth, call a friend, distract yourself from eating. That's what you have to do on the keto diet. You can't eat as much bacon as you want. You can't eat as much, oils and fats as you want in the keto diet. You got to have half an avocado on your keto diet. You can't. Who's eating 30 avocados a day? Who's eating 30 sausages a day, full fat sausages? Who's eating 30 bananas a day for decades? Actually, decades. Back in the day, I was eating 20 bananas a day for sure. Back in 2000, actually that's 30. Yeah, so 2005, 2001. I'd had banana smoothies back in the day, 2001. Heck, in the 90s, I was doing banana smoothies. But yeah, it's just how it is. Anyway, let's get into it. The questions are going off here. All right, so first of all, what do we like to eat with sweet potatoes? Man, Evan, if the sweet potatoes are good, just sweet potatoes. I remember we were in Thailand. There's a place in Chiang Mai, Thailand that sell these incredible Japanese sweet potatoes. And man, you don't want nothing on that. That is so sweet. It's just like, boom. It's insane, these sweet potatoes. Insane. All right. Just ask Natasha, ask Tori, ask Freely. And we had these crazy sweet potatoes. So for me, just as it is, you can add a little bit of salt to it if you want to, some barbecue sauce. But if the sweet potato is good, you don't want nothing else with it because it's like, bam, that is incredible. Best ways to control the diets. I'm not sure what that means. So if you give some more information there, it'd be better. The more information you give me, the more objective you give me. Just like Harley, you got a pair of black band sunglasses. That's objective. If you say you're wearing sunglasses or you're wearing something on your eyes, that's subjective. Objective is like, how do I lose? I'm 80 kilos, I want to shred down to 70, or I'm 70 kilos, I want to bulk up to 80. What do I do? I'm 6 foot tall. The numbers help me give you a direction. Man, this hat and sunglasses really is a lot better to read off the screen here. And I can crank this ring light without getting blasted. So about lighting, let's turn the light off and I'll show me lighting. Right now it's just dark. It doesn't have the same sort of pop, does it? So hat, sunnies, slip, slop, slap. And you can get up nice and close. All right, so we've got the at work during lunch. I watch you chowing down with a bowl of rice and sugar, trying to drop the last pound for a 6-pack. The fat you eat is the fat you wear. Thanks a lot, Harley. Very good. Again, if you want to get that shredded abs, if you want to have more definition, increase the fitness, increase the cardio, like the fitness, not the cardio. Like I was at the gym the other day. I started going to the gym last few weeks. Been to the gym, I think 4 times this year. And I'm at the gym. Me and Kieran were there, and you look around. You go look in the treadmill, and we saw this one girl. And she had a good physique, but you could tell she was starved. She was a bit in the face, a bit like And she got on the stairmaster. She's just like and you can just tell there's nothing going on. It's just like the vitality is just like boom. And then there was a girl there as well, Daniela, who I know, who's carbon up, and she got on the freaking same machine, and she was just freaking going for it. And they both had a slim looking physique, But then. Yeah, like Kieran was talking to this other chick, and I came over and jumped in the convo, and she was just like blah blah blah. But then talking to Daniela, she was just all up and energy. You can see it on the machine, it's like getting it going on there. So you want to have that cardio, that fitness that translates into life versus just going through the motions. Sucks. All right, here we go. Here, weight loss out of the saddle says weight loss 101. Eat less, cardio more. If you happen to eat too little, your body will eat the fat. I should write a damn book. That's what everyone does, man. That's what all those people out there at the gym, I see it all the time. Eat less, move more. And they look freaking miserable. Miserable, miserable, miserable. Yeah, you'll lose weight, but you'll be miserable. You'll suck in life. You'll be on antidepressants. You need caffeine to get going. You'll just be like, you're such a bad mood. Your libido will tank. Libido will tank, and then maybe if you find a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, and if your libido ain't matchy, then all of a sudden it's like, so it's just, it's hilarious. Weight loss 101, eat less, move more. It should be called like how to, shopping 101. Just grab the sunglasses off the shelf, put them on your face, and walk out. Then the security guard grabs you, or then people, please come to the door, or whatever, or you lose your job, you get a criminal record. I mean, you'll get your sunglasses, but there'll be consequences. Versus earn some money, buy them, boom, good to go. Eat low fat, work on a bit of fitness, good to go. Versus just pop some pills, starve yourself, train, lose weight. Yeah, it works, but you rebound, and in the meantime, you feel miserable. I mean, you might get a cortisol spike and you're feeling good, but eventually the spike goes up. The cortisol spike's going up. This is productivity was going up, and then the spike's going up. Productivity's going down. Your spike's going up, and then you start to crash. And now you're down here. Cortisol's down here. You can't even get in the morning. You're just like blur, and productivity's blur. But you lost your weight, and now you're rebounding back up because your thyroid TSH has gone right up, and now you're just a puffy, chubby person. And you've got no energy and fitness, and your libido's tanked. But you lost a bit of weight for a few weeks, so it works. Rebound, yo-yo diet. This is why I am the best. Sounds arrogant, but I am literally the best person, the authority when it comes to weight loss. There's no one out there who's getting better results than me. Nobody. All right? And that doesn't make me like better than anyone, but my advice is definitely the best. Okay, this just works, right? But it doesn't make me a god or whatever. It's just this protocol. Nothing else comes close. Our cat Johnny JJ caught a pigeon last night, a dove, and then thrashing it around, and Natasha grabbed the cat away, and then we put the pigeon in the bedroom, and then let it chill, turn it, shut the doors, put the curtain, just give it darkness so I can rest, let its cortisol come down. And then a few hours later, I went in there with the cage and just quickly, I put the red light on so not to get too stimulated, put the hands on the bird, just firmly but gently, put it in the thing on a soft little bit of tracksuit pant material, shut the cage, put it against the mirror, nice and warm, insulated, so it was really warm so I could get some deep rest, no noise, just got rid of that. And then I transferred it to the bathroom later on. We went to sleep, woke up this morning, put some water in there, some bread, and just left it alone. Minimal interaction. Bit of the bread was gone, so it's starting to carb up. And I thought, I'll give it some seed, So I pulled some seed out. It's about an hour later, got some seed, put it in the little bowl, and I opened the door to put it in the cage. And the dove, the pigeon, just whole shotted over my hands. I didn't know pigeons were agile. Just launched over my head. I had like a little gap open, just over there, over the cats, boom, through the trees, outie, done. When Natasha had it last night, I wasn't there when she got it. The pigeon was lifeless. It'd been struggling. It was just out of energy. And when I grabbed it, it had a bit of energy, but not too much. But today, bam, with some sleep, some water, and some sugar from its starch diet, ready to roll. All right. So that's what I mean. Like, I had such success with animals, and that's what my history is in my background's in spiders. If you're like, what spiders? Is you out of your mind? What's a spider got to do with weight loss? If you can't make a spider healthy, if you can't get a spider, I got to hunt some spider the other day. It had been trapped somewhere. It was so dehydrated. It was on the shovel, and it was like a crispy piece of freaking, bark. It was just it was ready to die. Some of its legs were starting to curl under, and it was just hanging off its rear ones. It was just like starting to curl under. The little death roll, the death pose. And so I squirted it with some water. People were like, squirt it with freaking pesticide, kill it with fire. So I'm squirting it, just misting it, just like a mister gun, and it starts to drink straight away. And Tasha's like, oh, it's drinking. She thought it was dead. She thought it was like a skin of a huntsman. And then I put it in a little jar with some holes in it, so it's got oxygen. Put it away in the darkness so I can chill. Now it's got water. And then the next day, put a fly in there. Boom, just grabs the fly, eating it. It didn't have much energy when it grabbed it. But then after a few more flies, the energy is coming up. And then it shed a skin because it's getting bigger and bigger. And then I gave it a mealworm, and the mealworms just bulk the spiders up. And now this spider's it's a male, so I'll release it soon. And it'll, be a fuckboy huntsman for the female huntsmen in the garden, and then keep the thing going. But that's what I mean. I can literally see a spider that needs help and know exactly what it does. It takes over the human. I know exactly what you have done. I talk to people, and they're like, how'd you know I was on SSRIs? How'd you know I was on steroids? How'd you know I've got bulimia? How'd you know that? I didn't tell you that. I can see. When I spend time with someone in person, I can read what's going on. The eyes don't lie. The face doesn't lie. What we do in private long enough, shows in public. All right. So that's the deal there. A bit of a rant. Bit of a rant there. Okay, we got a super chat. Who sent that super chat? Let's get to that question. Show the love of someone gave a super chat for $7.99. Appreciate that. Here we go. Okay, so this is some no accountability. Why is vegan gains 250 pounds now? He takes antidepressants daily and recommends avoiding processed sugar. Vegan Gains used to be so fit and lean when he was following durianrider protocol. I'm assuming that's it. Yes, true. And this is no shade to Richard Vegan Gains. I mean, he did a number on me, didn't he, back in 2017? But whatevs, he's going through some, and that's why, I mean, all the people who tried to do a number on me in 2017, all of them, look at their faces today. Look how sad and stressed and sad and depressed they look. Sad, depressed, and stressed they look. They made some pretty vicious lies, and all of them. Look at my eyes, the clarity, I've got the happy face, probably a little bit sleepy looking, but I am definitely a very, very happy chappy. But when you go and slander someone with some really vicious lies, and not just one little comment because you're heated in the moment, but make videos about them, full-on deliberate videos, slandering or website articles or whatever, then you're living that lie and it's not true. So you're putting out some really vicious content. That's going to mess with your brain chemistry. Some people call it karma or whatever. So I don't have any hate for any of these people. I mean, I had a lot of frustration and anger for a bit there. with a lot of people. But I've learned to let that go because, haters come and go, happy people, depressed people, they come and go in and out of your life. So if you hold on to hate, I don't have any hate to Richard. I don't got no hate to Vegan Gains or any of those people out there. Any of them, none of them, no hate for them. I feel like empathy for them because I know they're not in a good place mentally. I feel that they all need more sugar, but they're all scared of sugar, And I think, man, like looking back, if I didn't have sugar and I was scared of fruit and eating enough fruit, then yeah, I can understand why people act like that. So why is he 250 pounds? Because that's the Vegan Gains protocol, And hey, like some people think 250 pounds is great. And if he's happy with 250, that's all that matters. For me at 250, I would be quite fat and my joints wouldn't really like that. That's just me though. I've got a different sort of frame. But if he's happy, that's all that matters. Right? That's all that matters. If you're happy at 250 or 150 or whatever, and you're feeling productive and everything's on point, that's what matters. If your performance is where you want to be performing, that's what matters. If you got that emotional state control, that's really what matters. All right? Once you don't have control up here, doesn't matter how good you look or how much money you got or who you're sucking or fucking or whatever. If you don't have it up here, that emotional state control moment to moment, life really, really sucks. All right? It doesn't matter what car you drive, how many subs you got, hundreds of millions of views. None of that matters to me if I'm not feeling up top in control. So that's why I focus on sleep, I focus on sugar, and I focus on water. So yeah, but hopefully that answers the question. But yeah, SSRIs, man, they are the ultimate weight gainer. That's why people were like, they can't lose any weight in your lifestyle. And it's like, you're definitely not doing it. And we'll do an interview or whatever, the coaching thing. And they're like, they're on the SSRIs. I'm like, man, boom. And then they get off that, and it's like the weight just goes out here to they get sucked in body, sucked in face, just the striations, the chest separation come back in, dialed in. And the SSRIs, man, they are really, I'm not a fan. And caffeine, man, caffeine is the drug that precedes most depressive episodes. Caffeine, coffee, green tea, cacao, which is theobromine. But yeah, chocolate and caffeine, theobromine, caffeine, the coffee bean, the cacao bean. In small dosages in some people, okay. But in most people, cacao, it's like, where's that ice cream? There's ice cream and I eat here and there. This is the vanilla one. They have a chocolate one. I find that I can tolerate that, no worries. But if it's like a full-on, like, chocolatey one, then next day I'm feeling more malaise. I have less penile dong sensitivity. Caffeine, definitely, especially coffee or high-dose caffeine, over 30 milligrams a day, I find most men I talk to, impacts penile sensitivity massively. So if you're finding that your libido is good, but your dong's a bit like, it's not really feeling it, cut your caffeine out and you increase your sensitivity to the dong. And hey, if it feels better, it feels better. Life's better. So I find a little bit of caffeine from the cacao, a little tiny bit, the theobromine, it's okay. If it's more of like a flavor, like dusted, but if it's like a full-on strong chocolate, no, it ain't going to be good for me or anyone I know. So yeah, but it does something for men and women. I find chocolate does something to suppress testosterone. Maybe it suppresses DHT. It does something to the androgens. Chocolate, cacao, caffeine, theobromine. These do something negative to the androgen receptors, or they do something negative. They just do. And I've experimented it. I've been a natural, 100% natty athlete. I've been enhanced, running tests. We've got some testosterone here, which we'll talk about. This is $35 in Australia from the doctors. All right. So it's 750 milligram, three loads in there. So 250 milligram a mil. So it's just testosterone and estrogen are so important. So if you're on the contraceptive pill, that kills your testosterone. So it's really, again, hard to burn more fat. It's hard to lose weight if you're on the pill. Relative to your twin. All right. We've got here, only successful long-term vegans do it for the animals. Yes, no, yeah. I mean, no, but if you're hungry enough, man, I know people who just start to go, I don't believe in this because they feel like shit. And they blame a vegan lifestyle. That's why I recommend doing my protocols: the sugar, the white rice, the fruit, unlimited, keep your fat low, and you feel freaking amazing. And it's, I can do this. I could, I could race the Tour de France as a vegan, hypothetically, if I, was wanting to do that and I was 20 again and train hardcore, then yeah, I could definitely I'd be at that level, definitely. Whether or not you get selected and have all that luck and stuff like that with injuries and crashes, different story. But it's I've ridden across Australia on a vegan diet. I couldn't have done it back in the day on my meat thing. I'd just be like too up and down, gut issues or whatever. Abdullah, the Glucose Network guy, another channel I created, got him into cycling. If anyone said Abdullah in a few years' time is going to set like an Australian record solo across Australia on your protocol, on your diet, I'll be like, dude's powerlifter, roid dude, like he ain't going to be doing that. He's too big. Anyway, he got tattoo, starch, rice, one shoulder, sugar on the other. Dedicated guy, out there in a good way. And then he rode across Australia so fast during the Indy Pack in 2018. He rode so fast, I didn't even believe it. I was like, no way. Like, he must have. That's just, I can't. Yeah. But then the Strava stuff lined up. I was like, damn, he did it. So tip of the hat to that. So he did it on my protocols, Sugar, that guy, if you're in a room and a kilo bag of sugar disappears and there's no bin, there's no windows, he ate it. Like, it's the sort of guy, he could just chug a freaking kilo bag of sugar in one hit. That's the sort of guy he is. And guys like that and girls like that who can smash those sugars in, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. Throwing a bit of anabolics and a bit of stims or whatever. See you later. Done deal. All right, here we go. Here. What's your thoughts on Joey is only vegan now to try and make up for his criminal past? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, some repentance. I mean, I'm, again, it's another guy who threw me under the bus, tried too hard, but snitched on me, things like that. Again, no hate to him. No hate to him. But I'm glad he's doing what he's doing now. It's better he's doing what he's doing now than what he's doing in the past. So I'm definitely when I first brought him into the community, people were like, man, that dude's shady, he's dodgy, he's gonna burn you, he's gonna fuck you over. And he did. But hey, he's getting the message out there and he's making 6 figures a year, and so hopefully he's inspiring other people to say, hey, if I want to earn hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, which Joey's earning now, and good on him, you can do that as a vegan activist. Talk to people on the street, make a few videos a week. You can make the right contacts, and boom, you can do that. So I think he's doing great, and I'm glad that I didn't listen to the people who said, just don't talk to that guy. He's just trouble. I wish he didn't, try and throw me under the bus, but I play with fire and I got my hands burnt, but the vegan barbecue is bigger now, so that's all part of the deal. That's me and my goal's always been to create a bigger vegan scene, get the message out there. So my job is done. I can be all like butt hurt and say, oh, that person fucked me over, blah, 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 blah. And it was like that for a bit, but I realized that, like my goal is to get the community bigger, and I did that. So sometimes you got to get your hands burnt to make the barbecue bigger for everyone. The vegan barbie. So who got another question here? He got no accountability. Are you shadow banned? I'm definitely shadow banned. Like, look at some of my videos on here. I've got like over 200,000 subscribers, and people always say, "Why don't you upload videos anymore?" And I'm like, "I am." And like, I didn't get notifications. Like, you go on, I think TikTok's maybe not shadow banned yet. Facebook's shadow banned. Instagram's shadow banned. So I did talk about certain topics, and yeah, that doesn't help. But I have been, suppressed there for a while. But this is part of the deal. It's part of the deal. So, have you seen that Simeon's back again? It's good to see him for sure. It's always good to see Mac back in action. Everyone, people out there, upload more. Let's keep the community rolling. Let's keep if you know the truth, spread it. If you don't want to put your face on camera, okay, do a voiceover. You hate your voice, deal with it. If you really hate it, just do the automated stuff. Like, just put the message out there, people. Put the message out there. Share the love. Can a vitamin B12 deficiency cause weight gain, weight loss? Yeah, you could like become really sick and just be like frail for sure. That's why I recommend the B12 shots. I don't care if you're a freaking meat eater or a vegan or a vegetarian or whatever you're following. If you got low B12, you got low B12, man. And the B12 injection is the only way to 100% reverse or prevent a B12 deficiency. Oh, but use the pills. The pills, they might work. They might work, but the sunglasses and the hat is guaranteed to reduce in this ring light. So I can keep cranking it out versus be bugging out here. All right. So Ava Cook says, massive thank you to you and Natasha for getting me out of the orthorexic, freely pure mindset. Oh, so massive thank you to you and Natasha for getting me out of the orthorexic, freely pure. Freely's not doing all raw. You know what I mean? I saw her in August. Went around a joint and, she's not eating just raw food. You shouldn't eat just raw food. I mean, there's days where I eat just fruit. I mean, I can get really good fruit. And there's days where Freely would just eat fruit. But if you think that she's up there in a place just eating fruit, just raw, no. She should definitely go for periods, but times where the good quality fruit just ain't happening, you know? There was something wrong with the farm or the sun. It's just something, just the bats hate everything or just didn't taste good. Not enough sun to make the mangoes pop. So be out driving around and you get some vegan sushi, you get some cereal, you get some carbohydrate, you get some sugar water going on there. All right. So people out there don't think, I mean, back in the day, from 2005 to February 2010, I was eating all raw. I wasn't eating any rices or anything like that. I had some raw rice actually, but I wasn't eating any cooked vegan foods or anything back then. Then in February 2010, started eating potatoes and oats. Instantly go have more watts on the bike because it's just easier to get the carbohydrate. So yeah, once you start as a raw foodist, once you start seeing nuts, if you're looking at nuts going, oh, macadamia nuts, or more than one or more than a handful a week, once you're starting to go, man, I need some nuts or avocado, once you really start just gravitating towards durian, just like you wake up and you're like, I need some durian, and then you need to eat more rice at dinner, otherwise you're going to be too much fat and you're going to be all fatted out and blah, 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 blah. So I recommend Raw Till 4, man. It's where it's at. Fruit for breakfast, fruit for lunch, or depends what you prefer. For me, I prefer that high water content, high vibe feeling. Rice at night time. Like you can see, I've got a bit of mania going on right now. If I had a bowl of oats, I'd be like, that's why I don't like having the oats or the starches for breakfast. I love having that mania going, that just like the buzz. Sugar water and good to go. I've got sugar water in here, a bit of creatine. Creatine for the scales to go up. So, but yes, orthorexic, man. Orthorexia. Like, I was talking to someone yesterday and they're like, oh, I feel a bit tired and I don't do carbs. I eat a fruit. And I'm like, get 100 grams of sugar and put it in 500 mils of water and drink it. Scull it or in 5 minutes. Drink it. Oh, but blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you really don't want to improve yourself, do you? You've got orthorexia. And I dare say that's probably the last time we'll ever hear from that person ever again. They're lost. And it's not in a nasty way like they're lost. It's just like, I don't want to waste time, my time, their time, talking to someone who's got orthorexia, but they're not willing to like step out of that and go, yeah, my performance is really suffering, boom, boom, boom. Put the 100 grams of sugar in the water and drink it. If you can't do that, you have orthorexia. Okay. Now, no, Freddie would do that. I've seen it, they're eating thousands of meals with her. So she would do it. She doesn't have orthorexia. But when she does promote this cooked foods, cheating, blah, 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 then she's promoting orthorexia. And that's really unethical, knowing what we now know about the importance of enough sugars and carbohydrate always. Like back in the day, I used to promote that, like, raw is law, boom, boom, boom. And that's great if you're just getting all these just the sickest fruit ever, which I'm not getting, Freddie's not getting, and no one's really getting in Australia at all consistently because it's 2021 and the fruit quality is a lot less than it was in 2005 or even 2001 when I was getting into it. So it's orthorexia. It's dangerous information. It's unethical. It's unethical for me to say you should eat 100% raw food It's unethical for anyone, especially Frida, because she knows the truth as well. For her to say just raw food, that's just like unethical, really disappointing. You should always say, right till 4. And if you want to eat raw all day, you can do that if you want, but you don't have to. It won't be any advantage. All right. Get the rice in there, big white rice with like a soup, like high water content rice broth, a little bit of miso in there, something like boom, man. That makes you feel incredible next day. And just, yeah, especially what if you're in Toronto right now? It's cold as heck. I mean, obviously people in the heating, so yeah. But I mean, if you want to eat all fruit all day and it's working for you, but if you're craving the nuts, or your performance is going down, then add in the rice, add in the sugar water, or just even add sugar to the fruit. There you go. Have your celery, you're good to go. Just add the sugar in. All right. If you're like, no, I don't eat rice, I don't eat oats, I don't feel good on those things. Okay. Then if you really don't feel good on those things, then just add sugar to your fruit. Oh, I can't do that. And it's like, if you can't add sugar to fruit because sugar's not raw, then you got orthorexia, and your performance, your relationship, your libido, everything around you is suffering because you've got this belief system. Oh, but it's got bone char in it. It's got no bone char in there. A carbon filter doesn't even touch the freaking sugar. It's pulling out the impurities of the sugar. They even rarely use bone char these days. They just use carbon. Since mad cow disease, they rarely use bone char in America or Australia. I think it might even be illegal. So, but again, it doesn't end up in the product. And there's no bleach in the sugar, right? It's a carbon filter over here. Let's say this box of testosterone is a carbon filter, all right? And then there's a wall, the plastic thing with some holes in it, and the sugar's just going, the impurities getting sucked out of that, all right? Just the carbon just sucks it out like a vacuum, sucking out the molasses or the coloring. So you get left with white crystal sugar, and that's carbon, all right? So bone char is carbon. So, I mean, carbon's always getting recycled in the earth, in the world. So there you go. So be careful what you say, what things you spread around. Should I replace my morning coffee with sugar water? Yes, Jason, you should. We're getting so many questions here. I appreciate it. If you do any question 100% answered today, do the super chat option, and we'll see it straight away. But yeah, should you replace morning coffee? I mean, coffee causes depression, anxiety. It causes penile desensitivity, meaning your dong ain't as strong or ain't as pleasurable. I don't know about you, but for me, I'll enjoy having sex and I want a pleasurable dong. It's just the more pleasure you're having, the more pleasure your partner's going to be having. If you're just a starfish with like a rubber dong, it's like flaccid micro cashew nut, that's not going to be memorable. So caffeine, man, it's flick it off. There's much better ways to use music. Put the music on, boom, boom, boom. Have some sugar water, get more sleep. Caffeine, if you have caffeine every single day, it's going to build up in your system. You won't be able to sleep deep enough at night. You won't. And then you need more stimulants. The more you go, blah, blah, blah. So it's just a vicious cycle. Replace it with sugar water. Caffeine, when you have caffeine, it gives you a boost primarily from adrenaline and cortisol. So in the morning, your cortisol's going up anyway, and then you have that caffeine, you even up more. Sugar lowers cortisol. When I have this sugar water, it lowers cortisol. Stress, cortisol up. Someone puts a gun to your head, cortisol up. Your kid's screaming at your wife's nagging, your husband's getting blah, blah, blah. Cortisol's up. Haters on the internet. Depends how you deal with it. For me, it's all good. But back in the day, cortisol up. Caffeine, theobromine, cocaine, methylphenidate, Adderall, cortisol up. So I don't recommend caffeine, especially not every day. If, let's say, for a stimulant, my favorite stimulant ever, because it's so subtle, would be modafinil, 10 milligram or 20 milligram modafinil. Because it doesn't make you feel like you're on stims. It just increases a bit of wakefulness. But again, not every day. Because if it's every day in your system, it'll build up and it'll affect your sleep. And then, then what are you doing? Like, we're taking a wakefulness drug, but then it's going to impact our sleep. So we feel less wakeful. This is like, what? So if you're going to use stims, only rice, etc. Otherwise, we're just damaging ourselves. We're damaging our enjoyment of life. Okay. Now, caffeine and cacao, if I could tell people to give up 3 drugs in their life, most of them, I would say quit caffeine, cacao. green tea, coffee, chocolate, cacao. Quit those things as a daily thing. Just quit them, right? Just, if you're taking it and it's giving you that buzz, quit it. Oh, but sugar gives you a buzz. Sugar's like, you need sugar, okay? Sugar's not a drug. Sugar's a nutrient. It doesn't come close. Sugar lowers cortisol, right? Sugar's not anything that raises cortisol and it's in a white powder, that's a drug. Cocaine, caffeine, theobromine, Ritalin, Adderall, etc., methylphenidates. It's a cortisol spiking drug. Sugar is a nutrient and it lowers cortisol, okay? So when everyone says sugar's a drug, activates the dopamine receptors like cocaine does, all that's true, but it's not a drug, it's a nutrient. Your kid or someone giving you a hug, or your partner or a cat giving you a hug, increases your dopamine like cocaine and sugar does. Should we kick away kittens when they come or little happy puppies? Someone goes to shake your hand, get away from me, you're trying to raise my dopamine levels. Like, I'm not a coke, do I look like a cocaine addict to you? It's just like, the context people will lose. That it's in that photo of the brains. You got normal, cocaine, obesity, sugar. Sugar is addictive as cocaine because it lights up the dopamine receptors like cocaine does. And it should have another one: kittens, puppies, sex, accomplishments, achievements, serving community, blah, 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 blah. Early nights, because the brain's going to look the same as well. It's just this context people steal or twist to oh, man. There's definitely out there, whatever you want to call it, conspiracy, whatever. I would call it just a strategy to make people as depressed as possible with super low self-esteem. So they hate themselves. They never really want to fight the system because they fight themselves so much. The easiest opponent to destroy is the opponent that's trying to destroy itself. Because you'll be going to fight it. And then imagine the USC. I have a USC debut and I'm fighting Tito Ortiz, or freaking Randy Couture, who came out of retirement to fight a YouTuber. And we're in the ring, and I'm like, let's go. This guy's going to kick my ass, but let's have a go anyway, because it's good for views. And then they start punching, Randy Couture's punching himself in the face. And he's like, punching himself in the gut. He wins himself. And oh man, he's just winded himself. I can win this fight, So I go in there and bang. It's easy to defeat an opponent who's trying to defeat themselves. People out there, their self-esteem is just crushed. It's like, you don't look a certain way or blah, blah, blah. And the media says, you look like this, you're a piece of junk, blah, 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 blah. So people wake up, they get in the mirror, and I don't look like this Hollywood person, the Photoshop or the filters. You got 18-year-old girls out there doing Botox and filters and a boob job, and you're 18. This is like, it's crazy, man. So it's all about getting people under carbs. Sugar's bad. And then you got to have kids because you got to have kids because it's a job on the planet, isn't it? That's what your hormones say as well. And so you got these parents out there fearing sugar, running on caffeine, anxiety, cortisol, just poof, 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 king hits every day, and they're just like, they're just up and down, they're crashing, they're feeling like shit. Their eyes, look, they're black. I mean, punched in the snout, punched in the muzzle, black under the eyes. Look at the people who fear the sugar, and I see them every day. I don't do sugar, and I can tell because those dark bags under their eyes. Now, some people it's genetic a little bit, but the real dark stuff, that's just like the cortisol, that's the stress. I've seen it in people. I've seen their darkness under their eyes go within like minutes. A bit of a nap, bit of some fruit, bit of sugar. I also seen it come back real quick when they get real stressed and just like cortisol's up. The darkness comes under here like it's like a bloating octopus. It just changes color, or cuttlefish. It just changes color under the eyes. You notice that in people when they're really like getting low in sugar, cortisol's up, the darkness comes on strong, really. Even in me, So you can see no darkness there. A little bit puffy because we had a bit of salty meal last night, but otherwise there's no darkness there. Okay. So if you have that real darkness, and not everyone gets it, but it'll manifest in other ways, but that's generally a giveaway. So that's what I mean. It's this whole thing about getting people hooked on caffeine, and then caffeine's not even strong enough. People are going to other things, and they're going high dosages. Like modafinil comes in 100 milligram and 200 milligram tablet. 100 milligram of modafinil is like, that would keep me up for like a week. Like, I've never even done 100 milligram of modafinil. 200 milligrams. So what the? So it's just, yeah, it's when I see that's the standard dosages, I'm just like, man, like some people's adrenals must be cooked. Go on library, upload controversial content. You can't get banned. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Thanks for the tip. I've got to do that. Jeffrey recommended doing that. All right, who got another one from No Accountability? How can everyone band together and go on strike and then reclaim our freedom? That's a great idea, but unfortunately, people have kids locked into the mortgage, the social approval narrative. They hate themselves, so the confidence is shit, and there's infighting on religion, or you follow liberal, or you follow the Labour, or the left, or the right, or you know what I mean? We're easy to control as a society. We're fighting ourselves. We're fighting each other. We're fighting for the environment. We're just a big chaos pit. We're a big chaotic mosh pit, and the people up top are just going, this person might get organized, but nah, they'll get swamped, and there'll be some, oh, you banged my girlfriend, no, you raped her, blah, blah, blah. It just goes to shit. So it's just, and throw in fear of sugar. It's just like, I wish we could do that, band together, go on strike, reclaim our freedom, but unfortunately, it ain't going to happen because there's so many NPCs out there, non-player characters. You want a bit of a deep dive, type in NPC. People are just so conditioned, like it's just, hormone. It's just, it ain't never going to happen. It's never going to happen, unfortunately. But yeah, it could happen, but it ain't, because it's just people are so deep into that orthorexic sugar phobia. I'm not good enough because my mum rejected me, my dad rejected me as a kid, or my dad bashed me, my mum bashed me as a kid, so I'm not good enough, so I'm going to do this and this and that. I don't improve myself, and that's the most people out there, unfortunately. And and everyone's been through that, but most of us stay in that for life. So it's the ability to judge ourselves and self-reflect, but not be too harsh on ourselves. Go, yeah, bad mistake. I'll apologize for that. I'll make amends. But this whole deep thing of like, you're worthless, you're a piece of junk, blah, blah, blah. And like, there's a time in our life we're going to say, hang on, that enough's enough. Like, what am I trying to do here? All right. I've got skills. I've got 2 arms, 2 legs. I've got an Australian passport or American passport. I can help people. I can help the animals. I hate people. People suck. They burn me. Okay, I get it. That's got to burn you though. If you keep hating people, it's going to burn you. So you don't have to give yourself to people, but you can just give up the hate towards people, and you can give your time to animals. You can go pick up plastic on the beach. You can do recycle. You can do something for the environment, for the animals. It's going to make you feel better as a person. And if someone's doing that at some level, then that's a great way to start. And then your self-esteem is going to raise up because you're going to have more life purpose, and then you're going to stand different. You're going to look different. You're going to have different eyes, right? Versus just holding on like this, like my fucking ex fucked me, blah, 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 blah. My boyfriend did this to me, my girlfriend did this to me, this guy did this to me, this girl did this to me, blah, 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 my dad, my mom, blah, 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 blah. You see, and people just like, I'm under doing heaps of steroids, getting swole, like no one's gonna beat, getting tattoos, don't come close to me, I'm a mean, blah, blah. And it's all just because there's deep hurt inside, because I had trauma as a kid or as an adult, and never stopped and go, oh, you know what, like, my dad was just a fuckboy. That's why he bailed us. My mum had an eating disorder. She feared sugar, she feared getting fat, so she starved herself when she was crazy as a bat. And that's why she was so narcissistic and absent, because she got rejected one day by a guy she was in love with. And then she got baby rabies and baby fever, and then she had us. And then she didn't know how to be a mum because she's just got an eating disorder because of that and blah, blah, blah. And then these parents, the dad's like closet gay, so he becomes an alcoholic. So he can't come out because he doesn't be rejected by his mum or his dad. So he gets married, has kids, hates the wife because he wants to be with Frank over here. And it's just this big shit show in society, throwing drugs, throwing caffeine, throwing sugar, throwing mortgages, keeping up with the Joneses. And we've got an absolute shit show of society, throwing a freaking pandemic and throwing politics and religion and the pie in the sky. And it's, so go easy on yourself, man. If your self-esteem is low, because what your parents said to you or someone said to you, then you got to stop doing that, because you're the one who's doing damage right now to yourself. All right? And that's what this whole weight loss thing comes around full circles. We want to improve our aesthetic because typically we want approval from someone or anyone, maybe anyone, just some sort of approval. We want to be part of the pack because we are pack creatures. But it's okay if people don't like you, because most people don't even like themselves. It's okay if people don't like you, because most people don't even like themselves. It's okay if your parents didn't love you like you wanted to be loved, because most parents don't even love themselves like they want to be loved or feel they should be loved. Okay? How can you expect that level from someone if they can't even give it to themselves consistently? Or if they're on caffeine roller coasters, or their hormones are tanked because they're going to bed late every night, and they're waking up like, and they just hormones are done. It's just blah. How can like it's like expecting these Ray-Bans to protect the whole face when all they can do is this. All right. It's not a whole sheet of plastic. It's just this part here. Your mom or your dad was just this. That's all they knew. You can't choose your parents, but you can choose how you react to their behavior. As simple as that. Simple as that. How many grams of fat for maintenance? 20 to 30 grams, 43 to 44 kilo female. I don't know how tall you are, Ava, but just keep it under 10 grams of fat a day. And if you find you're getting too skinny, add in more. You can, and cut the cardio down. If you find you're getting yourself too skinny, just cut the cycle, stop riding the bike, or get an e-bike, and just increase the fat a little bit. 10, 20, 30 grams extra a day. Just play around with it. Well, yeah. If you're getting too skinny, then yes, stop riding a bike. I'm riding the e-bike around. The e-bike conserves calories. And it's like we're going up to 90 kilos. Focusing on my cardio fitness, maintaining that at a high is counterproductive to once you go up here with the muscle gains. But it's been a good experiment. It's been really good. I've been enjoying it. I really, really, really enjoying it. And I love cycling. I love running. Always will. Always be into that. What ratio of sugar to water do you drink? Grace says, I generally just pour it in and just taste it. And I'm like, that's not sweet enough, or that's really sweet. Yeah, that's good, sweet enough, good to go. If it's too sweet, I just add a little bit more water. But generally, to give you an answer, it's going to be about 100 grams. 100 grams of sugar for 500 mil. So yeah, I would rather be hated for who I am versus loved for who I'm not, for sure. 100%. For sure. All right. I've been following Nick Gets Fit. Hey Nick, I've been following your protocols since November, and I appreciate your support, by the way, Nick. Been following your protocols since November, and I'm sharing my journey on YouTube. Lost around 20 kilos since January 2021, following this way, but mainly since November, following your sugar advice. Thank you, DR. So it's Nick Gets Fit. And this is the thing, is like, and joining your Facebook group was worth it. That's the durianrider.com coaching group. And that's what I mean. Like, it's, the longer people stay on the protocols, my protocols, the more disciplined they are as well, the faster you're going to get results for you. All right. If you've never ever ran a 5K in your life, then it's going to take you longer to get your time down under 20 minutes than someone was a gun runner in high school, So, but it's not really about comparing yourself to other people too much. Otherwise, if I compare myself to the average 44-year-old guy in Australia who's overweight, mad depressed, mad debt, hates his life, average 44-year-old in Australia is that in situation, unfortunately, for various reasons, because they listen to Channel 7 too much. But if I compare myself to them, I'm like, I'm all right. I can let loose a bit and blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't want to let loose because I've done that in the past. I don't feel as good, Did that in my teens and 20s and eating the whatever. I feel better now. Okay, so, but if you compare yourself with other people, then you can compare to, or your standards might drop. I'm a very, very performance-focused person, but also enjoy mental stability. So I'm not one of those people out there who's just going to go and crash myself and feel like just totally burnt out. You know, always focus on getting my rest. Even yesterday, I had to lay down the oval while I was waiting for something. You know, waiting for a friend, waiting for a mate. I went to the school oval and laid down. I didn't like pace around and get my phone. Like, oh, come on, where's this guy? Turn up, you know? I was like, oh, I'm going to, you know, Clint will be there when Clint's there, and I'm going to go over to the oval and have a lay down on the grass. And I felt $1 million after that. Right? Good to go. Right? So get your rest. Get your rest. I've been sneaking oil into my girlfriend's dinners since she is getting too lean on your protocol. I miss some cushion for the pushing. Hey, legend, my girl and I are on the protocol. She's having headaches and I feel weak, but it's still early for us. Are you guys having too much sex, maybe? You're getting too rough in doggies. You're getting headaches from the spine, whiplash. That could be lack of caffeine. That sounds like, you know, caffeine deficiency. You're feeling weak and you got headaches. That's generally a drug withdrawal, and that'll pass. I'd say keep pushing on with that. You know, if you find the headaches are really bad, you could maybe do a 10 milligram caffeine. Just get a caffeine pill and cut it up, you know, and do like a quarter of a caffeine pill to reintroduce some caffeine into your bloodstream to maybe slow down the detox if you find it's too harsh for you. But for me personally, I just ride through it. Just ride through it. And the weakness you're feeling is fatigue. Your body's been trying to say for so long, but we mask that fatigue with more stimulants. You know, I never use stimulants, or 99.99% of the time, I won't use stimulants if I'm really, really tired. Right? Because it's like, what am I doing? You won't be able to sleep later on. It's just like you're digging yourself into a hole. So just, yeah. You know, when we stop using stimulants like caffeine, etc., cacao, then we get in touch with what our body's trying to say. My favorite time to use stimulants would be like a small dosage in a running race, like a 5K, just to open up my airways. That really helps me. But it doesn't give me more energy. You know, like I'm not energized by it. It's just it helps the breathing because I'm taking such a small dose just to get that breathing effect. I really enjoy that because it feels really good for me. I can perform better. But if you're using stimulants, if you're like this, oh man, I can't focus. I'm so tired. Don't use stimulants. Have a nap. Get some water. Get a quart of water. Scull it. Have some sugar in there. Scull it. Have a little nap. You're going to come back feeling so much better. If you're like this, you know, oh, I need a coffee, man. I need a pill. I'm so tired. And you have it. You're just burning your cortisol. You're burning your adrenals, man. Well, that's abuse. But if you're like, hey, man, I'm like, feel really good. I'm gonna kill this running race. We're gonna smash it. And you take a little quarter dose of something. Yeah, that's the time to use it. If you want to, you don't have to. Music's even better. But if you're using stims to like, oh, you know, I'm so tired. Like that's just wrong, man. That is wrong. That is gonna make you feel mentally cooked. And I'll lose people. I'll lose subscribers all the time. I see it. I promote sugar, promote no stims or less stims. Unsubscribe. But hey, I'd rather tell people the truth about their health and fitness than just bullshit you to get more money and subscribers. Okay? Because if I bullshit you and say caffeine when you're tired is good, or caffeine every day is good, that's shit, man. If I'm like, only eat raw food, raw is law, but I know the truth, that's dodgy. That's dodgy. If I'm like, yeah, man, I built this extra 20 kilos of muscle just from like my special protocols, buy my ebook, you can get some, when it's in actual fact it was anabolics, then I'm just another fake natty liar, sociopath like Aftren X and Matt Bogus and all those crew just using gear, which is fine, but lying about it to people so they can sell a coaching program because the noobs out there go, oh, I don't need steroids, but I want to look like you. Oh, you're natural. I'll pay for your product. You know, what's that guy's name? Stephanie Butterworth's beard boyfriend. Steph's the beard. He's also got a beard, but what's his name? Jeff Nippard, another fake natty. You know, there's a lot of Matt does fitness, Matt does Anavar, fake natties, man. What about Elliot Kipchoge? He drinks multiple green teas a day. Yeah, man, and he's on testosterone. He's on a shit ton of drugs, man. Huh? You think you can really like those guys, are smashing the drugs, especially the blood drugs. So it's you got to do that. You got to like take a stimulant to push harder than is physically naturally possible. You got to do that. That's mean you take the EPO. That gives you the red blood cells, the testosterone for a little bit of like recovery, and then prednisone for that real like blast, the Kennecott, race day blast, and stimulants on during the day, just because there's accumulated fatigue. So yeah, the stimulants to get going for that grueling workout, but not too much because then it will affect your sleep. So you define the balance there. But these people are using pharmaceutical drugs to win big races, and I'm okay with that. It's entertainment. All right? Oh, durianrider, you're disgusting. You're encouraging performance-enhancing drugs. I'm not encouraging. I'm saying this is what people do. Open your eyes. No one at the Olympic Games is winning any big event. The marathon, the 100-meter sprint, the butterfly, the backstroke. No one's winning any of that gold clean. They're all, in my opinion, are using pharmaceutical drugs. Okay? It's just how it is. This is how it is. It's entertainment. I still watch the Olympics. Now you can be an Olympic athlete clean. You can go to the heats for sure in some sports, but you're not going to win. You're not going to set an Olympic record or world record in the 5,000 meter or the 1,500 meter freestyle or whatever clean. Right? If you think Phelps is clean, then I've got some mountainous land to sell you in the Florida Everglades. All right, so another one here is Angela says how to get out of absolute burnout. Currently, I'm sleeping as much as I can, hydrating rice, sugar, and some homemade meals. Fruit tastes like dog shit in Chicago. I jog daily, just a bit of sweat. Then how to get out of absolute burnout? I mean, it sounds like you're doing great. It sounds like you're doing great. Just keep going. You're doing the right thing. I would also get into B12 injections. That's the only supplement I really recommend. If you're low in ferritin, because you really had an eating disorder or whatever, then test your ferritin levels. Because if you're taking iron, you don't need it. That can be really dangerous. Because too much iron, long term, isn't good. Like for months and months and years, too much iron, it's going to cause some issues. But a blast of iron and then it comes down, okay. But I'd look at that. I would look at and maybe on the contraceptive pill, and that kills your testosterone. Or maybe you've gotten off the pill and your testosterone still hasn't recovered. So you're feeling like, or you've been running Adderall. A lot of girls out there run Adderall, guys as well. Uni drug, smart drug, every single day at nighttime study. Using Adderall at nighttime to study. It's so fuck. You know what I mean? So we're like 17 to 23, almost daily Adderall exposure. And then you come off that, which you got to at some point because it's just, So then the reality of being a natural is a lot different to being an enhanced student. So it's good. But then people go, I've stopped using all these stimulants. Now I don't feel so good. This diet doesn't work. And so no, this is how you're meant to sort of feel. You're high as a kite beforehand. So understand that. It's raw bliss. Hey man, cycled 25 miles today. Sugar water for the win. Rice to dinner. Fruit all day, baby. All right. Is maple syrup a good source for adding sugar to things? Maple syrup's good, but it's a little bit acidic. Table sugar is pH neutral. And maple syrup's so expensive, man. It's so expensive. Why not just use table sugar? Maple syrup is mostly sucrose, and table sugar is sucrose. So, I mean, I'll have maple syrup, but it's so expensive for virtually the same thing. And it's a bit acidic on the teeth. Sugar is pH neutral on the teeth. So, I'll go with that. Is serum B12 of 1,300 too high? No, because it comes down in a few weeks. So it's not too high. I mean, if you look up cyanide poisoning, squatting on this football here. If you look up cyanide poisoning, the dosage for cyanide poisoning, they give you a mega dose of vitamin B12, like injection as well. It's like an injection. It's like 5 grams or something of B12. It's a huge dose. So B12 is super, super safe. So 1,300 is not too high. All right, let's get some more questions here. How many milligrams of test and D-bol a week? The D-bol has finished up. I'm running about 750. I'm running about 750 milligram of test a week with no AIs. I got no excess fluid retention. Low fats where it's at. So yeah. Not that I recommend that. I'm just saying this is my little experiment here. Troy, I'm diabetic here, using durianrider's strategy, and my insulin sensitivity is never this good. Never been this good. It's just, probably the most from diabetics out of anyone, of any demographic. I remember my friend Scott back in 99, he's type 1 diabetic, and he'd tell me, he didn't, I'd test my blood sugar, he'd prick my finger, would test blood sugar, and he'd explain about how his diet and stuff like that would factor different things, and how cycling really helped with his insulin resistance. It just brought it right down. He'd do like a crit race on a Saturday, and he said, I had really good numbers for like 4 or 5 days afterwards. I'm like, man, damn. So cycling's really good. But the magic is the low-fat diet, all right? The low fat, that's where it's at. So if you're a type 1 diabetic and you're eating 10 grams of fat a day max, or 20 grams max, just driving it down, fat intake as much low as possible, that's where the magic is. That is where the magic is, for sure. So, by giving these videos a like, it definitely helps with the shadow ban and the algorithm. If you want this information out there to more people, give it a like, leave a comment. I noticed when I had a mad fatty vegan meal, I felt some gyno for the first time, for sure. Someone says, Corn Bluff, Harley, do you think Scooby still takes steroids? Scooby's always been on steroids. Scooby is the original fake natty on YouTube. All right, Scooby, man, dude, like, what Scooby, man? Why lie to kids and tell them that your physique is attainable natty when it's not? Use steroids, it's your body, your choice, but why lie to people, man? You're still lying to kids. That's like, it's sociopathic, bro. Just come out and say, guys, this is why I lied. Everyone lied back in the day. Hey, I've been a fake natty for 20 years, 10 years, 5 years on YouTube. From day one on YouTube, you've been a fake natty. Just come out, mate. You look like a joke, bro. You look like an absolute joke. All those Tran-X, all those people. I don't use steroids. You guys look like the biggest, and the girls as well who lie about using steroids, insecure beaters out there. Now, if you're an Olympic athlete, I understand why you're lying about steroids. Yeah, because you'll lose, blah, blah, blah. But if you're a YouTuber and influencer and you're selling a protocol or program and you're fake natty, you are a fraud. If you're saying, I've got these big muscles and blah, 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 look at me, you can do this too, and I'm natural, but you take steroids, you are a fraud. You're being fraudulent. And you wouldn't like it if someone scammed you, so why are you scamming other people? And that goes for the vegans out there as well who are fake natties. But especially guys like Scooby, who really sing it from the, I'm natural. We got a donation here. Thank you very much. KD Kahira, hope I got that right. What do you recommend for 6'5", 165 kg? We've got a man mountain here. I'm assuming it's a man because that is a big human. How many calories and carbs should I aim for? Goal is 95 kilos. Can't quit sitting. Bro, I'm a sitting job. I sit down most of the day. Even when I ride my e-bike, I'm sitting down. Cycling is sit down walking. I'm sitting down, man. I'm sitting down like my spine is just like bent over like a freaking banana. I'm sitting down looking at my screen so much. Look at the wrinkles on my neck, man. Sitting down, looking down on the phone and the computer. So you and me share the same sort of job. We're sedentary. We sit down, and that's great because it means you can do a bit of exercise and I can sit down and have a rest. So how many calories a day? Eat as much as you crave. The secret here is keep your fat under 10 grams a day. 10 grams a day. That's not much fat. But you are going to go from 165 kilo down to 95 for sure. 100%. Now, if you're taking any medications, if you're taking testosterone, that will prevent weight loss, right? So if you're using testosterone, it's really hard to drop weight if you're using that, because it just holds weight on. Like your body just sticks things on. Like as soon as I start taking less test, or if I stop taking it, just the weight goes down. The more you take, the higher the weight. This is how it is. It's linear. It's very linear. So if you're taking SSRI medications or some lithium, many medications cause weight gain or prevent, rapid weight. Or they prevent weight loss or they minimize weight loss. So you can be doing everything right, but your SSRIs are really holding you back. So if you quit both, and the caffeine, it's like, you're going to feel like $1 million better than you're going to start to feel and think and be more clear and have clarity. Yeah, okay. You're going to sleep deeper, etc. I would recommend reducing those things slowly over time, especially SSRI. I wouldn't just go cold turkey. I'd go half dose this week. Next week, we go a third dose. Week after that, we go a quarter dose. And then we go quarter dose every second day. And then we go quarter dose every third day. So you don't just go, you're just dropping it down over time. Same with the steroids, just dropping it down over time. Okay. The anabolics don't just go from 750 milligram a week test, just drop down over time. All right. And then your body can pick up. You're dropping down over time. Your body's just like, slowly going up like that. You're back to normal. Then no need to just drop it like that. With caffeine, you can drop it like that for sure. But with those SSRIs, I think what I see is the better gradual. The half dose, the quarter dose, the third dose, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, as many carbs as you want. If you can eat 1.5 kilos of carbs a day, you need to eat that much. If you eat 500 grams carbs a day, you're like, oh man, I'm done today. Blah, blah, but I'm going to throw up. Blah, no more sugar, no more rice, no more pasta, no more low-fat pizza. I am done today. Then you're done. The next day you start all over again. So it's just as much carbs as you crave. As much carbs as you crave. Because what you've done in the past, I know what you've done, is you've like, I've got to restrict this, restrict that. How many calories? Okay, 1,500. I'm going to do 1,500. He said 1,500. I'm going to do 1,500, 1,600. No, I can't do this. It's too hard. It is too hard. No one can do that. Even anorexics can't do it. Anorexia is a mental health condition. Eventually, 99% of anorexics snap out and rebound through the roof. And maybe 1% actually die, unfortunately. So the anorexics, or the mental in terms of eating disorders, they can't even maintain it. So how are you going to maintain it? Right? And anorexics are the next level. So never, ever restrict your carbs. Ever. Only restrict your fat intake. And then you got the good life. You got the freedom life. Your cortisol can be coming down because you get enough carbs, you get enough sugar. You go out, I'm going to have pasta. I'm going to have oil-free, please. And I'll have rice as well. Oil-free, please. A bit of veggies on top. A bit of salsa. A bit of sweet chili sauce. A bit of, I was about to say olive oil. No. A bit of soy sauce. You know what I mean? No oil, no animal, no avocado, no nuts, no seeds. Just white rice, sugar, fruit, pasta, oil-free bread, oil-free pizza bases with some vegetables on top, bit of pizza sauce, oil-free. You're good to go. That, and vegan, and if you're doing that, get your protein intake low as well. No protein powders. The weight, bro, is just going to strip and rip off of you, 100%. But what will happen, though, most likely, unfortunately, just being devil's advocate, this person or other people will do it for a bit, and then someone will go, bro, that's too much carbs, mate. Durianrider wouldn't have a clue. Durianrider's always lean for the last 12 years on YouTube, but he wouldn't have a clue. You got to starve yourself, mate. Calories in, calories out. Greg Douchet, fake natty, $39,000 a year for coaching to be lied to in your face. You got to do that. Calories in, calories out. Train harder than last time. Push away from the table. Fuck yourself up. Those scammers, man. Those scammers. And then you had the audience who was sincere but sincerely wrong, just parroting that stuff. Weight loss 101. Just eat less and cardio more. And when you burn out and get depressed, go see a doctor and take some pills that cause fucking rapid weight gain. And your dong doesn't work. It's just like, blah. So this is a solution. This is the only way. It's not my way. It's just it's just humans. It's the human way. Right? If you're a horse, you need to eat grass. If you're a human, you need to eat low-fat diet. If you're an adult. If you're a baby, you need breast milk from the mummy. So that's the answer right there. Just do it. Just do it. Don't look back. Don't listen to anyone else. Don't be rude about it. But just say, cool. Thanks, man. I'm doing this. Durianrider. Looks like a tapeworm with HIV, and I'm going to listen to that. Because the dude knows about weight loss better than anyone. Sustained weight loss for life. Anyone can starve themselves. You've done that, man. You've yo-yo dieted. All those people out there, all those big people out there, yo-yo dieted. I don't eat any processed food. I don't eat any sugar. I eat protein. I eat healthy fats. That's what they all say. All of them, all the fat people I've ever met in my life, they all say that. I don't do sugar. I don't know. Yeah. It's I eat too much. They don't say I eat too much fat. Oh, I love my sugar. I got sweet tooth, got sugars, I love it. Damn, people suffer. People really, 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 really suffer. But when ask people questions as well, listen to them, listen to them. Listen to what their response is. Oh, sugar's bad. I don't do sugar. Fat's good. Healthy fats. Your body won't need fat, though. Avocado's okay. Olive oil is good. Virgin olive oil. Organic. My grandma does it. It's good, mate. Mediterranean diet. It's good. Fat's good, mate. just cut the carbs, mate. I've got to cut the carbs, bro. So if I cut the carbs, you cut the life. You cut your carbs, you cut your sanity. You cut your carbs, you increase your cortisol. And that increases anxiety even more. Whoa. Easy does it on the slippage there. Take it easy, camera. That was risky business. Yeah. All right. Could your GF beat up veggie police? Yeah. No. As a joke, yeah. The case is doing all right. If you're... Oh, this is a good question from John K. If you're taking tests for weight, why not just go for food route instead? Because look at me, man. I'm 82 kilos, shredded, ripped. I could be 82 kilos, fat head, just fat. And some people say I probably look better. But I'm going for muscle weight, not fat weight. It's easy to get 80 kilos fat. Like, it's just, I could do that really quickly with just lots of fatty vegan foods. Avocado. Potato chips full of fat. So it's, but test, it's just muscle gain, it's just building muscle. So I'd be 90 kilos of muscle than 90 kilos of fat and have a big belly and have crap fitness and crap strength and just feel like blah. Like, my goal isn't to feel blah. My goal is to keep feeling amazing, which I always do, natty or not. So, yeah. But, yeah, that's a great question. Why not just go the food route and just get fat? Then I don't want to do that. One, it's bad for your health, eating that much fat. Like, so, yeah. But fair enough question. Has Freely spoken to you recently? We talked face-to-face for about 3-4 hours in August, and we've spoken on email since. So it's all good. Better than what it was, sure. Any issue with you? Because I don't believe in holding grudges, and yeah, sure. She, I was talking to someone the other day about. I reckon if I could estimate how much money I've lost since she cut me out of our online business, it would be, definitely be minimum $600,000 upwards to maybe $1 million that I've lost because of her. But again, no hate. Would my life be better now with extra $600 million in the bank? No, it wouldn't. Is my life better now that I can detach from that sort of anger or resentment of like, hey, I made you, I saved you from Sydney, I've helped you from eating disorder, blah, blah, blah. I did stuff for you that no one else ever has or ever would or ever will do. And then that, you blah, blah, blah. But for me to hold on to hate for that, it's like it doesn't feel right. So that's my lesson there. I learned that lesson to just cut the hate, the money, whatevs. And people, oh, you're a beater, man. You lost. I would lose if I fought that in the courts, which I tried to do a bit, then she went to Ecuador and timed out the court thing, and I was just like, I can still keep it going, but it's just, I don't win. I mean, I win a lot of money, but that's not going to change. You know what I mean? That's going to change. So it's just, people are what they are, right? It's just about accepting people for who they are and moving on. You know, otherwise, if you hold hate, and when I say move on, I wish we could be public friends. For it'd be good for the vegan community, no doubt. But in private, we're chummy, but there's no way friendly would ever say, "Yeah, Harley's cool," blah blah blah. Actually, what I said about him was a lie, and blah 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 blah. No, that's not going to happen. And for me to like try and keep pushing that or want that for someone who would never do that, it's like expecting one of my cats, like little Johnny JJ, to go and ride a bike and being frustrated. Like, come on, man, I ride a bike. I do this. You can do that. It's just dumb, It's just stupid. Just let people be who they are and go from there. Otherwise, you just hold on to hate. And I was holding on to hate too long. I didn't like who I was becoming. I didn't like how it made me look. I look at my face and I'm looking quite relaxed because I want to live that life where I treat people how I want to be treated. So hold on to hate and anger, man. It's like just your kids or your ex or your parents or whatever. Like, there's always going to be people in life who are going to really fuck you over. But the lesson in that is roll with it. Don't let it like chew you up, because it'll chew you up. And then what like, what do I want every day in my life? I enjoy being happy, being fit, healthy, hanging out with people who value my time, etc. Versus thinking about people, blah, 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 in the past. It's just like the rear view mirror is small and the windscreen is big for a reason. Right? And if you're on a bike, you have no windscreen, you have no vision mirror. Actually, got a little cat-eye BM45 for safety purposes. But you know what I mean? Like, you just go forward. Learn from things. Be the better person. Be the better person. Be how you wish the other person would be. And if they are, they are. Don't hold them to it. Great question. All right, here we go. I am in a tent. This is like a little editing tent here. I love it because it's just like you can lock in on the. It's also don't have much cat fur allergy here. It's just a great little. Just I can get so much work done in this little dark area, and my eyes can really focus on the. On the screen at task. How many Jason Fungs could Natasha be behind? They live the longest in the blue zones with olive oil and fish. Is it because of the olive oil and fish? Is it? Or is it because of the low-fat diet? How much olive oil did they use? Like a teaspoon of olive oil a day, or a little piece of fish a day. Is that the secret of longevity? No, it's not. It's the absence of excessive animal protein and excessive fat intake. What's excessive mean? I would say if you're eating big pieces of animals every day, then I'm going to say that's excessive. And if you're eating more than 10, 20 grams of fat a day, for most sedentary people, that's going to be excessive fat intake. So there you go. But yeah, that's what sabotages people. Oh, the blue zones, the olive oil and the fish is all right. I mean, fish can be very low fat. But look how much mercury's in the fish today. That would be a concern. If you're eating fish every day or regularly, my concern would be mercury building up in your brain tissue. That's a legitimate concern. Let's take away the whole ethical debate or whatever. If you're eating fish every day, every week even, long term, you're building up mercury in your brain. No question. All right, done. It's 2021. There's so much pollution in the oceans, in the streams. And that's just mercury. You got PCBs, benzopyrenes, heterocyclic amines, all these things in the animal products, especially fish. Okay. So, and then let's talk about olive oil. It's causing blood clotting. It's causing clots. Simple as that. So olive oil isn't healthy. Fish isn't healthy. So if you have a small dosage here and there, yeah, you're gonna, not gonna have as much of a negative effect. So if you smoke a cigarette once a week, probably won't do much, will it? What's a good number of B12 levels for a runner? I'd say 500 to 1500. for anyone really. Muscle weight, muscle mass. How to keep track of the metric? Well, I jump on the scales in the morning and I look in the mirror and I can just see I'm just packing on the muscle. So that's how you measure it. That's how you measure it. It's in my face. My head is bigger because the muscles in your head get bigger. Every muscle in the body gets bigger with enough testosterone in there, especially super physiological levels. So, I've still got a very lean face. Some people might be too lean. I'm pissed that she took the website. Yeah, Freely, she did the website. Freely created it because I'm freaking hopeless with creating stuff. So she created the Ning website back in the day. I created the name, but I made that website famous. I would smash it my videos. I'll be like, you look at the watermarks, 30 minutes a day in like thousands and thousands of videos on there, just profusely typing. Freely hardly ever promoted it. She was hardly ever on there. Like, look at my post content. I think maybe she's deleted most of my stuff. I don't know, but she wasn't really on it. And that's fine. She's not really a forum person, but I am. Any forum I go on, it just, just things just blow up. There's controversies, drama. It's just energy. And then she changed name to, I think, Frugivore or something since then. It's just like, this is dead. It's just like, and forums now are a lot more quiet than they used to be in general, because you got Facebook, you got other platforms of community. So that's definitely a factor. But it is, the pulse is done. And then all the scandal and the dramas, it really killed the vibe. So that was very, very unfortunate. The biggest casualty really is the vegan community. It's not me at all. It's not her. It's the vegan community. Definitely. The environment, the animals, all that suffered massively. Am I still banned from the Woods? I was never banned from Woodstock Fruit Festival. I was never ever banned, ever. I still talk to Mike's wife, Victoria. I can call up on the phone now if she'd happy to chat, like Victoria here and there. So we're on good terms. Was never banned there. I had a great time there. Woodstock Fruit Festival. I loved it. Again, something promoted heavily through 30 Bad back in the day. I loved it. There was a time though when Doug Graham, etc., said that I should be on the pioneers list because promoting, I think it's free as well. We're promoting sugar and starches, but that was all about because Freely we're getting the most donations from people could donate, and we were getting the top. So Doug's like, if we kill Freely and Durianrider, then I'll be next in line as the most popular and I'll get more money. So I was just like, Doug, you're a douchebag. And then it just fell out from there. And then I'm like, look, I'll just put my own festival on in Thailand. And in 2014, 2014, I went to Thailand by myself. Freely didn't go. She's like, no, I ain't going. She flagged out because she doesn't really like the crowds. Fair enough. And so I went to Thailand in 2014. I put on an event, and it was epic. And then 2015, Freely came over, and in 2016. But yeah, so it was great times. Great times. But yeah, that will never ever be the same again, unfortunately. Because it could be in a way, but because people are always stronger together. Like, you're always stronger as a team when that team splits. And I remember that was the biggest thing I said. I remember in 2016 up the Doi Satep, up the mountain there, I was talking with Fred. I was crying, I was begging, I was pleading, I was tears on my face. I was like, I don't want us to fight. I don't want us to war online. She's like, no, we just don't stop being silly. We won't war. And we went up to the Q&A, and she's just like freaking roasting me in front of everyone. People are filming it, went up on YouTube, and it was crazy. But I learned a lot about women, like, from that, and people in general. I learned so much about humans from that whole event, and I made a lot of mistakes as well, and I'm happy to apologize to anyone publicly for that. So that's what I mean. And I've done that as well, but I'm happy to do more. In life, you always make mistakes, you overreact, but if you can't publicly apologize to someone, then it doesn't really, the apology's bullshit. The apology's fake. If you can't put your hand up and say, hey, sorry, I was wrong, how can I make it better? If you can't do that, then it's a fake apology. It's a fake apology. It's not genuine. So I'm definitely a fan of genuine apologies. And if people forgive you or not, that's on them. But if you're genuine about it, that's what matters most. How do you measure your muscle mass? You can just, I mean, when you're lean like me, it's easy to see because you look at my shoulders, look at my chest. You know, I didn't look like this back in the day. Look, my traps are popping up a bit. You know, I'm still very slim to most people's standards, but for me, who sits at 59 to 63 kilos natty, and now I'm like, 80, 82 every day. It's a huge difference. Same leanness. So it's like, 20, almost 18, 22 kilos extra muscle. 1 meal a day in keto pulls the weight off faster than carving up. Yeah, for sure. For sure. There's no doubt that starving yourself pulls the weight off faster, but you rebound and you feel like junk. So, like the fastest way would be cut your leg off. I met a lady at Woodstock Fruit Festival who cut her arm off. I think it was about here. Was it here? It was. She had no hand. She cut it off. I was talking to her, and she'd been going. There's a bunch of people who would jump in a car and drive to McDonald's while at Woodstock Fruit Festival, and we laugh about it. But I applaud their honesty and transparency. But they were so hungry because I was, they listen to Rob Lockhart or listen to Ann Osborne or listen to some people out there who are sincerely wrong and say, I eat less and I'll just do this. So they'd try and do that and then starve and then just drive off to Macca's and have a feast and come back. And so I'm talking to this lady, I don't know what to do. I said, you got to carb up. You got to eat enough. You got to do what I'm doing, what I'm doing. She's like, you're a guy, guys don't get fat. I'm like, oh my God, look what Freddie's doing. Look at, blah, blah, blah. She's doing my protocol. Look at her. Oh, and I said, what are you going to do? You're going to cut your hand off so you can't eat? Oh, and she like pulls out this stump. She wearing a scarf around it. And she goes, well, I've already done that, haven't I? And I was just like, holy shit. I was like, okay, you got me there. And she was laughing. She had a laugh about it. And I was just like, like, I wish that was being recorded live or like on video to share, because that was definitely a human moment right there. But that's what I mean. Like, this is how far people will go on the calories in, calories out. Keto, 1 meal a day. I'm just going to eat 1 meal a day and hand right here. If you come up to my mouth again, we're going to cut you off. Here we go. So yeah, 1 meal a day works for insanity. I'm just going to do it for a little bit and then I'll eat normal again. And you're going to rebound because you've trained yourself to store more weight by putting yourself in a famished state. Like, I could blow up to 90 kilos real quick by doing a juice fast next 2 weeks. Cut down, then rebound. How that works is it's called adaptive thermogenesis, metabolic rebound. And that is your body saying, we're going to store more weight because we're in a famine. Just like if you go to the gym and lifting heavier weights, your muscle is going to grow. The heavier you lift, the bigger you can get. So I need carbs and gear. And so that's just how it is. So yeah, you just 1 meal a day in keto. Just dehydrate yourself and you feel like shit and you're going to rebound. Look around the person, the guy before who shouted out the shout out, the super chat. Appreciate that. At 165 kilo, they've been yo-yo dieting. 1 meal a day, I'm going to do keto, I'm going to do low carb, I'm going to do primal, I'm going to do vegetarian, I'm going to do, whole foods only vegan. And that's okay, but it's nothing like my protocol. Because whole foods vegan, it's like, okay, but then there's no sugar, there's no salt. And then you're just like, potatoes, which is fantastic, but it's really hard to get enough pump with no sugar in your life. It's really, really hard. So yeah. Is this going to be recorded and posted? Yes, being posted. Hopefully it posts. Yeah, it's way to go, durianrider, for keeping such a great attitude, even though there's people treated you bad. All these people from the past, none of them, like, what's the word? I couldn't expect better from any of them. I wish it was better. Of course, we all wish it was better. But and this sounds really condescending, but to expect someone to treat you in a way that they've never been taught how to treat people. It's like me trying to speak fluent Thai. I've never put the effort in. No, my mum didn't speak fluent Thai to me. My dad didn't. So how am I going to speak fluent Thai? I'm going to have to learn that. I'm going to have to learn to be a good person. If my mom didn't treat me that way, my dad didn't treat me that way, and I know this is the way to go, I have to learn that. You have to want to learn the language of Thai or Spanish, or the language of being a good, legitimate person, where you're not scamming people for money, you're not ripping people off for money or whatever, right? So there's a big difference between like fully like, scamming people and a white lie or whatever. Big differences there. So yeah. Have you heard from that teenage boa, Julia? She just disappeared. She got so harassed by Mick the vegan. He did a video with her in it and just said, "Hey, how she's fat and she's just a teenager still." And so after that, she just got blasted and just deleted everything. So we've got a video for Mick the vegan coming up. Thanks for the reminder. What's your thoughts on Dr. Robert Caesar? Is he even a real doctor? What does that even mean? Dude's using steroids. He's definitely used steroids in the past. He's still on the testosterone, which is fine. But why people lie about it? And they just go, they jump diet all the time. Oh, vegans where it's at. Oh, vegetarians where. Oh, raw food where it's at. Oh, the ketos where it's at. Vegans bad. It's just like they go where the money could be or the attention could be. Just flakes, man. Absolute flakes. Absolute flakes. Sip baht. Ha sip baht, which means 50 cents in Thailand. Hey, Harley, I've been watching your videos for 6 years now and quit smoking after hearing your message. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Could I beat Mick the vegan in a Muay Thai fight? I mean, yeah. Mick the vegan, again, I think he means well, but he's got some damage done from his past. He's got an eating disorder. He looks anemic as. Dude's got jackal fitness, and just anyone, the vegans who follow his protocol is going to be ex-vegan. They're just going to flop real hard, because they fear the sugar, they fear eating too many fruits and too much white rice. It's just, it's bad. That's bad, We live in a sick society because of dehydration. Dehydration is definitely a huge one. It's huge. Not enough sleep, not enough water, not enough sugar. They all hand in hand. If you dehydrate, you can't sleep properly. If you don't sleep properly, you can't dehydrate. If you don't have enough sugar, you can't hydrate and sleep properly. Okay, it all goes hand in hand. If you don't sleep properly, you can't absorb the sugar as good and the water as good. It just goes hand. They're like pillars that lean on each other, sort of like cross pillars, with sleep probably being the foundation. Yeah, they're probably like sleep's the foundation, and then the sugar here and the water here. And if the foundation of sleep is bad, they just collapse and damage the sleep. So you want to have that foundation of sleep, sugar, water as a cross brace, and that's the foundation for everything in your life, your relationships, your fitness, your income, blah, blah, blah. Joy, happiness, etc. How good you feel. How is Angry Vegan getting on fan life? He's doing well. Kieran, he's doing well. Kieran's transformed, hasn't he? He's transformed from a very, I remember the first time I met him, I think he came in 2015. I think he came to Thailand. He was like super shy and just fresh off the plane. He reminded me a lot of myself, and now he's just so confident now. Like Kieran will walk up to anyone to start a conversation. At the gym, and I'll just say, go talk to that person. He's just like, dude's a bowler now, mate. So yeah, it's calming up, getting it done. Well, he's always been calming up. But Harley, if you and DTM ever made up, there was no real beef or banter there. I was just calling out his BS, but yeah, there's no. But he's still promoting BS, he's just a BS dude. He's just a BS dude. Want to upload to Rumble? Yeah, I could definitely jump on these other platforms for sure. I like to go back and watch when you made fun of Bart K's belly. I mean, credit to Bart K. He got on and did a debate. Like, how many people would debate me? Like with a channel of like a few thousand subscribers or whatever. Like, how many people would do that? Not many. So kudos to Bart for getting on there and doing it. Kudos for Drew Morg for organizing it. And I think it was a great talk for everyone. I have hormonal damage from yo-yo dieting and hormonal contraception. How long of doing high carb, low fat, and a 20-minute daily bike ride until I start losing weight and hormones start to balance out. Aisha, that's a good question. I wouldn't recommend doing high carb, low fat. I would recommend doing my protocol. And that might sound arrogant, but do my protocol. What I recommend in my ebooks. 20 minutes a day on the bike is good. It's fantastic, better than nothing. But I wouldn't look at the clock and go, okay, I'm going to do 20 minutes a day now. That's sort of like, I'll just incorporate the bike into your lifestyle. Okay, I'm riding to university. I'm riding to the shops. Get like a commuter bike, $300, $400, $500, like a flat bar hybrid. Put stickers on it. Put some fenders on there for the wet. Some baskets. Wear visible clothing. Lights at night. Powerful lights. Pay attention. A little mirror there, and just become a cyclist, right? And that's going to, you're going to meet different people, better people, maybe some crazy people, and that's going to transform things there. So you become a cyclist. Watch my cycling videos. Get my cycling ebook. Do not just anybody Bible. Just fast track your progress. But how long is it going to take? It depends on your age, which contraceptive agents you took, how suppressed is your pituitary and hypogonadal axis, etc. HPG, how suppressed that is from the hormonal contraception. So it depends on the person. Some people it depends on how severely you yo-yo dieted. Were you like high carb Hannah, another channel I got going, who's doing really well, and she's definitely she's cool. She was using Adderall and yo-yo dieting. So when she came over to sort of my festival, she was just smashing heaps of fat because she was just so hungry. I was like, man, it's too much fat. You got to just get strict with the fat intake. When she did get strict with the fat intake, just started shredding down. Same with her partner. She met her partner Derek through me. He eats pretty lean as well, so he definitely was when we were hanging out. That's that's just how it is. So how long is it going to take? It'll take as long as it's going to take. It depends on your situation. It depends on how disciplined you are. It depends on how your endocrine system responded to the contraceptive pill that you're on. All these things. But at the end of the day, when the girl takes the contraceptive pill or the contraceptive IUD, the hormonal IUD, you suppress your testosterone production as a woman. And you never, as a woman, want to suppress testosterone unless your goal is to gain more fat, because testosterone is very important for health. How is the whole going in Adelaide? It's fine. Like, I haven't had that, and it's all good to go for us. Can't talk too much about that. Edit that bit out. But that's fine. Flat water, flat earth. We're going to the flat earth today. We're going to ride that bike to the edge of the flat earth. For a longer cycling event, 9 hours, 7 hours, do you recommend sugar water as primary source of carbs, or would you incorporate some solids as well? Bananas, gummy bears. I would do all of them, man. I would do all of them. I would do both in training. Do a 7-hour ride just on sugar water with your normal breakfast. Do a 7-hour ride, 8-hour ride with sugar water, dates, bananas, and gummies. Just mix and match and see what you prefer. I know for me, if I was doing 7 hours, 9 hours, and it was hot, I would have sugar water, dates. That's what I have. Maybe some vegan gummy bears as well. Bananas, bananas. But if it's colder, I'd throw in a few Cliff Bars there as well. But just do it in training, right? See how it feels, how your digestion goes with it. And avoid using painkillers, because painkillers can really bung up your guts, and so can too much caffeine, etc. How to get a hot girlfriend like yours. It's women, all right, women are like cats. So like if you provide the environment, they come along. There's this cat now that comes here, little snowy snowball, and I feed him every day in the morning. He's in my tent out front, at our front door. He hangs out in my tent here, and so he gets food. So we're creating an environment. He feels safe with us. We pick him up, give him a pat, put him back down, and we're getting him desexed. He's not these little tomcats. He's desexed yet, so we booked him in for desexing. So it's like the cats. You provide the environment, the cats come to you, right? You don't have to chase. You have to be visible. Men, you have to make yourself visible to women. And if the women are keen on you, they will swipe right. All right, they'll swipe right. They will say, hey, they'll flick their hair. They'll make themselves obvious. They'll be easy to talk to. If they're dismissive and like, they're not that into you, or they might be in a mood in the moment. So don't give up, but also don't take it personally. But generally, if a woman doesn't have burning desire to be around you, she's not really that into you. Or maybe she's into your money. Or maybe she's into your look. Either way, she's not that into you. If she doesn't have if a woman doesn't have a burning desire to be present around you, if she's distant, she's not that into you. Now, women might say, no, that's not true. I'm into him, but I'm worried about myself. You're not that into him. You're not that into him. You're more into yourself and what you're thinking about feeling rejection into that guy. That's okay. But don't pretend that you're into someone. You're into yourself and feeling rejected than you are to approach someone. That's okay. That's okay. That's like level 1. And to get to level 2 and 3 and 4, etc., you've got to overcome that level 1 fear of rejection and go, well, I really want to talk to that person. Maybe they're the one. Maybe they're not. But I won't find out until we have a bit of a chat and a bit of an experience together. Go from there. So, guys, you just have to create the environment. So for me, I get a lot of women approaching me, especially women like Natasha or Tori or whoever, is young women who want fame and they want someone to do sport with. They want someone who's not a cracked out drug head. They want someone who's not violent. They want someone who's stable. They want someone who's financial, got his own place is a huge one. They want someone who's, who's healthy and who gives them a good banana. So that's what they want. Also, what's attractive for women is, if you are 6 foot, or generally if you're taller than the girl, that's generally what women want. Women are very shallow like that when it comes to height. And as guys, we're shallow to a certain thing. So it's a lot of guys like MGTOW red pill people. Oh yeah, women, women. Yeah. So dude, you're the same as well. Like it's okay for a woman to reject you. It's okay for you to reject a woman or whatever. Like it goes two ways. Oh, I'm like 5 foot and I'm fat and I'm blah blah blah. Yeah, but there's someone out there who appreciate for who you are. And you can get more in shape. You can, build your personality. You can do things that make you more attractive. But being bitter about that, but then if someone comes to you, I wouldn't touch her. She's too old, or she's got kids, or blah 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 blah. Oh man, you're rejecting as well. So and that's okay, but don't be a beta and go, I got rejected, blah 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 blah. Like you can reject as well. It's okay. It's a give and take. Like you can reject, and you can be rejected. Okay, it's okay. Just be polite about it and not a douche about it, and go from there. And if you're not keen on someone, let them know in a nice way. Otherwise, you get a fake rape claim on you. Right? That's a huge one, guys. Never be harsh with a girl because she can throw a fake rape claim on you. Make sure you record interactions, get screenshots, get follow-ups. Did you enjoy that? How was that for you? Get evidence of interactions. Otherwise, lucky I did. For someone with the under average size dong, I got 5-inch erect. Would you recommend a penile enlargement surgery for an extra 2 inches? 5 inches, man, it's not the size that matters. It's how you use it. 5 inches. That's around an average dong. So it's fine, man. I wouldn't recommend. I don't know much about the surgeries, to be honest, but I know that a lot of women would be fine with 5 inches, as long as you're hard. A hard 5 inches. So if you're using things like, my protocols of nutrition, going to bed early, not using any caffeine, these things are going to enhance your penile blood flow. Super low fat diet under 10 grams a day. It's going to enhance your penile blood flow. Also, you could look at in things like HCG from a doctor. That can be 5 inches isn't, that's I wouldn't call that like, surgery worth doing surgery, bro. But if you've got 5 inches or 8 inches or 20 inches or whatever, if you've got a freaking horse tappish long, compounds like HCG, testosterone, these things can increase penile length and girth. They've been documented that those dong pumps, cock pumps, things like that. So I would look at those avenues before I did any surgery, because who knows if the surgery, what it does to your sensitivity of your dong. And I'll tell you what, like, I've got a larger than average dong, and it's not always welcome. It does generally require more foreplay, or the girl has to be ovulating or really, really aroused. And so it's not always a blessing. Like, chicks don't want, the porn industry is really, like, the porn industry is really freaking, you got some absolute monsters on there. And so a lot of guys, as guys do, we compare him, like, oh, he's got a bigger Ferrari, or he's got a new Ferrari, or oh, he's big, like, it's, chicks don't want that monster dong. Maybe to make a porn to get back at the ex-boyfriend, yeah, but no. Like, I mean, look at the average size of a dildo for most chicks. It's going to be 5 to 6 inches, typically 7 inches. There's no girl out there's got like a 10-inch that she's using every day. That's just no. It's not happening. Someone's like in the back row, I do. I mean, there might be 1 or 2 out there, but it's very, very rare. So don't ever feel that 5 inches is enough. But it's more about hardness. So I would experiment with nutrition. You can use things like citrulline, medications such as Viagra or Cialis. You'd experiment with those things, cock pumps, etc. But yeah, stay away from caffeine, chocolate. But yeah, I would 5 inches. No way. There wouldn't be many women out there that I've talked to, honestly, who would say, "Oh, 5 inches is bad." It's more important to be 5 inches rock hard than 7 inches a bit flippy floppy soft. Hardness is that's the full-on thing. That's what women really want. Hard. It has to be hard, rock hard. Right? If assuming they're turned on. If they're not fully ready, they just, okay, we can have sex. But if you're rock hard, it can be a bit painful. It depends on your size as well. Depends on her cervical depth and width, etc. So it depends. But yeah, I would say that I've been with many women, and they, whilst they enjoyed my masculine presence, I know that they were, in some bit of pain the next day walking around, and they probably thought, I'm not doing that ever again. Just like I remember going to like a Muay Thai session with someone, a trainer in Thailand, and I really, really enjoyed it. But man, the blisters the next day on my feet, I was like, man, I was showing him my blisters. It doesn't matter, keep going. No shoes, go get stronger feet. And I was like, I never went back. It's just, it was fun, but it was just too much pain. I don't want to have blisters on my feet. So if you're giving your chick blisters internally, or just splitting skin, it's just, it might be enjoyable in the moment, maybe, but the memory's not going to be as pleasant. So I've definitely had that. Not many chicks I've been with really could take me full force. Most had pain, especially in doggy, etc. So don't always think it's a pro. It's more about your presence. It's more about how sexy you make the woman feel, how loved and respected. Depends. If it's just like a hookup, then sexy is the word. If you're in a relationship, it's loved, appreciated, respected. But if it's more of a casual thing, it's more about lust, sexy. That's more important than you could have the best dong in the world that women want. It's going to be about 6 inches, maybe 7. And you could be on your phone texting, or you could be absent. You could be like looking at the ceiling, just like, yeah, cool. She ain't going to be feeling that at all. She wants your presence. So look up what masculine presence means. Masculine presence, David Data, and work on that. I wouldn't recommend surgery for 5 inches, not at all. Not at all. Someone else said you can use your tongue, etc. For sure. Maca powder can get things going as well. So, yeah, maca powder can be fantastic as well. Anthony Horner says, I'm on Taiwan quarantine right now. 9 of the day 14. Just saying, I'm getting fat. No, you're not, bro. You're underweight. Most women would say you're underweight. You're fine, mate. Downing spoonfuls of sugar to lose weight, for sure. But the secret is, man, is the low fat, because you can have the sugar, which is important, and you'll feel good from that. You'll lower your cortisol. But then if you're still eating too much fat, it's going to be hard to burn the fat, isn't it? So if you're having all your carbs, your sugars, your fruits, your white rice, it's going to be easy for you to be getting more things done in your day. You're going to feel better. Your cortisol is going to be lower. Even if you're just in home quarantine, you can't exercise, you got 2 broken legs, you're still going to get leaner eating sugars and white rice and fruit all you care for than eating all this, over 10 grams, 20 grams of fat a day, because it's going to store as fat. So, Andrew says, how do you handle AMOGs? AMOG, for those who don't know, I haven't heard the word AMOG for a while. AMOG is alpha male of the group. I mean, alpha males of the group, how do you handle an AMOG? How do you handle an AMOG? You chat with them, and you just, like it's a bit like how to pick up a cat. How to pick up a cat that's scared of you. It's hard for me to explain it. It's more if I'm visualizing it, talking about it. All right, let's think for a second. All right, so how to verbalize this one? It's about demonstrating value. So you want the AMOG, the alpha male of the group, if there's girls around. If it's just guys, it doesn't matter. If the alpha's there and there's always girls around and it's a girl in the group you want to get some attention from or whatever, then you have to qualify yourself by making the AMOG, the alpha, feel insecure about your presence. Right? So if it's someone like me, let's say I approach a group of people, and they don't know me from YouTube, they don't know me at all. Let's say I'm single, I see a girl over there, I'm like, I would like to talk to her. There's something going on there. She's looking at me. It's just a bit of a vibe. But she's all this crew. I'm still going to go over and I'll see who the alpha is. Alpha will be generally standing tall and loud. It's like, rah, rah, rah. And so I'll engage with him with the intention of making him feel insecure around my presence, not by being violent, not by being intimidating, but just by talking, weaving in us. What do you do for a job, mate? Blah, blah. Oh, I'm a YouTuber. Oh, you're a YouTuber. That's not a real job. As soon as he says that, the chick will be like, I can sniff a bit of insecurity around this other male, this other tomcat. Maybe this new tomcat's got something off of this guy doesn't have. And so you basically want to develop insecurity, and at the same time, this sounds really bad. You're preying on his insecurities, right? And you're doing it in a way where you don't look like a douche at all. It's hard to explain. It's like, so I'll talk about YouTube and then talk about blah blah blah, travel and this and that, and they might Google, oh, you're a rapist, you're a fucking murderer, you're a scam, you and it's like, oh, I am those things, or just have a joke about it, because they were trying to go off guard and say, you can say, yeah, I am those things, police, the FBI is looking for me. Have you guys seen any FBI around? Shit, like, I just came out of prison for 20 years. You could spit a joke on it, because I'd say those slanderous things to try and put me off or get me angry and go, what'd you say, mate? And then as soon as you go to that ring, you lose. You might gain respect to the guys in the group, but the women just go, you lose, you're done. So you're dusted, you're finished. The attraction is lost, you won't get it back. Unless they work out you're a billionaire. Even then it'll be like, just the money. So you'd joke on that. Yeah, I am. Like FBI is looking for me. Everything internet people say, it's always true. There's no slander. There's no clout chasing. It's always true. There's the cancel groups are legit. And you just sort of agree with it in a sarcastic way, being mindful of not getting too, rowdy-dowdy. But that will come with time. That comes with also having enough sugar in the tank. Otherwise, your cortisol can get the better of you, and you're just like, you're going to knuckle on, and there's going to be a biff, and then you lose. So, yeah, it's just about, keeping your state control. About emotional state control. It's about raising up the alpha, making him lose his shit, hopefully getting him screaming. And you're just like, hey, it's all good, bro. It's all good. And then you're good to go. Because you've come to the group with the intention of, winging off with this girl, isolating her, having a conversation, a deep, meaningful somewhere else, and going from there, closing from there. And so to get the respect, unless you've got a really crazy aesthetic, to get the respect from that girl, you got to offset the AMOG. And the best way to do that is to make him lose his emotional state and you keep yours. So, yeah. And flipping questions on people, that can be helpful as well. End of the day, it comes down to who is going to keep their emotional state the calmest, relaxed, and chill. Whoever loses that loses the alpha position. Whoever gets crazy and loses that is no longer alpha. You become the new alpha in that moment. And then the woman's like, damn, that's how it works. Otherwise you lose your chops. It's like, bye-bye. And sometimes you have to lose your chops, lose your state to go, I lost it, I slipped, damn. And then recover from that. If you don't lose something, how can you know you've lost it? Everyone knows what it's like to lose a wallet or lose your phone. Right? Makes you be a better prepared person next time. I don't put my phone on top of the car or on top of my bike saddle or blah, blah, blah. Like you got to lose in life, lose the fight, lose the challenge, lose this to appreciate how to win it, how to flip it to win it, spin it to win it, if that makes any sense. Is it dark? Australia is where 12:54 p.m. It's definitely light today. It's definitely light today. All right, here we go here. All right. Is pasta too much protein for fat loss? No, pasta's gonna be fine. I would go. Yeah, generally white rice is less protein, but 60 grams versus 40 grams. It's when it comes to protein in terms of weight loss, no. It's gonna be the fat, bro. It's the fat intake. It's the fat intake. That's the biggest one. The fat intake's the biggest one. Second biggest one is getting your fitness up. How fit are you? Can you sprint up a flight of stairs? Can you sprint up a 20-story building running up the stairs? Faster than most people. If you can, then you're doing a good thing. If you can't, if you're like, if you're just quitting because you're so gassed out, then you need to work on your fitness. So, well, I could go to a building today and sprint up 20 flights of stairs. Like, no worries. I could do 100 flights of stairs because I've got my 5K fitness. So, and that's what helps keep that body fat low. And you're feeling vital versus just starving down. Like, I see a lot of guys on YouTube, social media, they're super ripped, but their eyes, man, like they just look, they're just so freaking tired. And their personality is just like, jump cut. They got a jump cut personality. Need a jump cut. Can't do live stream like this. Just tired, man. Just tired. I'm ripped, but I'm so tired and boring. I don't have some cocaine in me. I need some coke. Oh, here's a good question here. GSD for life. I'm 5'9", 170 pounds. BMI calculates I'm overweight, but I lift weights. I'm at 10% body fat. So is that really considered overweight if I want to keep my muscles? No, the body mass index is very, like the body mass index for me is saying I'm approaching being overweight. Like look at me. You can see like striations in my shoulders. I'm approaching being overweight. So BMI is very, 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 very rough. Okay, I use BMI more for the lower end of the scale. Like if you're going under 18, for most people, it's going to be too lean. Okay, so BMI is more important, the lower end versus the upper end doesn't count for is it muscle or is it fat? So if I'm 90 kilos, I'm going to be overweight. But 90 kilos on my protocol, I'm going to be very, very lean. 90 kilo lean versus a fat 90 kilo, if that makes sense. Can creatine be as bad as sodium? Depends what your goal is. Depends what your goal is. Do you recommend getting a GP to prescribe your gear? I don't recommend using gear. If you are going to use it, then yeah, prescription only. But I don't recommend it unless you've really done years of homework, of understanding what goes into it. Because it is generally a one-way street. Once you get a certain aesthetic or whatever, it can be one-way street for most people. So yeah, if you are interested in jumping on, I would recommend joining my coaching group and asking some deep dive questions there, because I'm a bit limited to what I can say on YouTube. But I generally say don't do it. But if you are going to do it, speak to the people who are very experienced. That's where I learned from. You got guys like Victor Black out there on YouTube, bodybuilder in Thailand. I disagree with those guys on nutrition, but in terms of anabolic experience, those guys have a lot. So they're good to learn from. And so I've spent, maybe 7 years, just dabbling in anabolics, prescription grade, and talking to people, always just talking to as many people as possible to learn people's experience, etc. Best diet for CrossFit, my diet, my protocol, 100%, 100%. Plus 500 milligram a week test, like they will do at that level, top level. All those CrossFit champs, all the girls, all the guys are using testosterone. All of them are. All of them are. Got a question here from Daniel. Is horn, is it bad for you? It depends. Like a lot of the we won't use it algorithm. We use algorithm sensitive language here. A lot of the here's Johnny JJ. A lot of the stuff out there is a bit, I would say a bit warped, a bit unrealistic. So it can make you. Hang on. You want to see some pussy? Oh, Johnny JJ. Where's your collar, Johnny? Oh, little Johnny JJ. Little Johnny JJ. He's a little scraggle puss. So you always going to see some pussy in my video. He's a normally very, very cute and timid cat. I don't think you like that being like. So I would say, is it bad for you? I would say it depends what your goals are. It can be good to learn certain new positions for sure. But I would watch, if you want to, if you're into chicks and you want to learn what chicks like, I would watch some of the horns out there that were made and directed by women for women. So you can sort of learn, what women like. And that can be give you some game there in that aspects if you're looking to, have a better experience with women. Because often what women like, what men like can be totally different things. But also that can be the same, depends on the person. All right. We're going to wrap this one up. But I'll do a few more because I got to go to the bathroom. And how do I find the coaching group? The coaching group, people, is at durianrider.com. Durianrider.com is the coaching group. Okay, durianrider.com is backwards there. Durianrider.com. And it's a coaching group, which becomes a Facebook group. It's a pay entry Facebook group, meaning there's no trolls there. It's a one-off fee for life, and you're good to go. And you can ask me any questions in there. And you can also have an anonymous account. And you can have two. You can have one real account so you can meet people in the group. But also, if you want to ask some private questions, you can just email me, durianrider@gmail.com, and say, hey, I want to create an account called Sammy Jones because I got some questions. I want a bit more private. And I'll answer those questions. So you can just email me if you've already paid your membership and you want to ask some more private questions, a bit more like embarrassed maybe, or don't want anyone finding out. Then create an alias account and you're good to go at durianrider.com. Pete Stav says, "What do you eat before and after training?" Great question, Pete. I eat carbohydrates, sugars before, sugars during, and sugar after. If I'm going to the gym, if I'm riding my bike, if I'm on my computer, I'm having sugar beforehand, sugar during, and sugar after. I love to eat fruit as well for breakfast. But when I'm doing these live streams, I'm just sipping sugar water. I literally could just talk for the next 10 hours, with sugar water and some little dates or something like that, as much as I want. And at night time, rice, and sugar. Cornflakes with sugar on as much as you want after training, in the evening or whatever, or just for dinner in general. It makes you sleep so good. Next day you feel so good because your glycogen's all pumped. Got really good glycogen petitioning in your muscles. Cornflakes and sugar with low-fat soy milk, as much as you want for dinner. Game changer. How much sodium should an athlete consume a day? I reckon between 1 gram to 4 to 5 grams a day is enough sodium for most people. Right? 1 to 4 or 5 grams a day for most people is going to be fine. If you've got high blood pressure, your high blood pressure is going to stabilize a lot in my protocol. With my blood pressure thing. It's let me just check my blood pressure quickly. I'll just flick this screen up. Oh! All right, we're coming back here. This is how we do it, man. Yeah, this is why I've had such success in my career. Can you imagine who's going to be filming in a freaking tent with a bicycle, looking like some cracked out dude? Yo, man, how's it going, guys? People are just so scared to take the piss out of themselves, man. So the piss out of them, they get all like, oh no, I've got a hater. Yeah. All right, we're going to do blood pressure here live. Probably be a bit up because I was just flexing then. Oops. I'm going to put the cuff on here. We'll answer some questions. We've got Question here, super chat or donation from Mayfair. Thank you very much. Dramundo. Mayfair Dramundo. An MX9. What currency is MX? MX? What's MX currency? MX. Mexican peso. MX. I'm not sure what Mexican peso. Thank you very much. So either way, we appreciate that. All right. Question here. Oh, here we go. So this is Mexico. All right. So the question here is, what do you recommend for someone that wants to get out of keto? Is it dangerous to quit and do your protocol? No, it's not. Just get out of it. Just stop it. It'll take a few days and weeks maybe for all that fat to clear out of your system, but because you'll be very, very insulin resistant right now. Keto makes you insulin resistant. Why? Because keto is a diet based on fat, and so all the fat is going to be coating in your insulin receptor sites. So when you eat carbohydrate, your insulin is going to be quite high for a bit, but after a day or two of not eating any extra fat, the insulin resistance is going to go right down. So that's you'll be fine. Just cut the fat. All right, so we're going to test. We've got the blood sugar here. Sorry, the blood pressure. Blood sugar. All right. Might have to stop talking for a second here. It's not really accurate because I'm holding on this, sitting on this Fitball, but okay. There's silence there. So that's my blood pressure. It's 141 over 77, 69 heart rate. I can test that again and again. It'll probably be like maybe 128 or maybe up to 145. So if your blood pressure is low or high, retest. Do it 3 times. Okay, so I'm sitting on a Fitball, so I'm sort of balancing. I'm a bit hyped up, talking to people. So that blood pressure, it's the systolic's a little bit uppity-ishy, but again, we're talking, we're active, we're buzzing around. So if I laid down, chilled out for a few minutes, blood pressure would come down even more. So yeah, just if you're doing keto, just stop today. Just get your sugars in. Keto is like, man, keto diet's so bad because in nature we wouldn't get that much fat. Like if you look at sugar in nature, like we're tropical creatures. We love the sunshine. We need warmth. We die in the cold, or we suffer in the cold. When we think of paradise, we think of tropics because that's where humans are designed. We think of paradise and heaven, we think of the tropics. And that's why we love sweet, juicy things, because it's fruit. So in the tropics, naturally, we would have bananas, papaya, mangoes, bananas and papaya being year-round. Sugar cane is year-round. Sugar cane just grows like a grass, And so we'd have copious amounts of sugar in nature as humans. Obviously, our old school fruits, which were super sweet, like the American pawpaws and a lot of bush tucker in Australia has been wiped out from grazing, etc. But we would have a lot of sugar in nature. Fat intake, though, fat would be very, very rare. Like if you look at the animals in nature, like in Australia, we have the kangaroo. There's not much fat in Australia. Kangaroo is very lean meat. Kangaroos, the main meat. They eat fish. Most Australian fish is very lean. The birds in Australia are very lean. So there's not much fat really going on. There's no cows in Australia, normally. So the Aborigines were quite lean because they ate a very low fat diet, but they also ate a lot of carbohydrates, starchy vegetables, sweet fruits, etc. The bush raisins, a high sugar fruit, very hard to find. But so the keto diet is definitely not natural. Sugar, carbs. That's what we have. Sugar receptors in our tongue. We don't have fat receptors or protein receptors in our tongue like a cat does. A cat can taste sugar. Cat can taste protein. Cat can taste fat. Humans can't. You can lick something, lick this and go, I don't know if it's fat or sweet, but you lick some sucrose, you're like, that's sweet, that's sugar. Give me more of that. So we're designed for sugar. That's why when you have sugar, your cortisol goes down. That's why on a keto diet, your cortisol keeps going up and up and up to give you the energy to go and drive you to find some sugar. So cortisol goes up, we don't have enough sugar, and then you have sugar, it brings it back down. And then when you run out of sugar again, cortisol goes back up to give you the energy to go find food, fight for carbohydrate. So yeah, it's advice for cooking white rice. Yeah, I can cook it in a pot. You just use a rice cooker. 1 cup rice is 1.5 cups of water. So if you're having 2 cups of rice, put in 3 cups of water. Just make it even on the flat. Just press the on button. You're good to go. I've incorporated sugar water into my workout routine, but what are the benefits of drinking an outside activity? You're going to eat less fat. The problem with sugar water, like I had last night, I had my rice and I was going to have my rice meal, but I had this mango sorbet ice cream, this low-fat ice cream that Marco brought over. Thanks, Marco. And so I was smashing through that, and then I my rice is cooked now. And then I tried to eat my normal amount of rice, and I couldn't finish the rice. Couldn't finish it because I was just so full of the sugars. So it just, the sugar, the benefit of sugar outside of doing activities is it's just going to satiate you quicker, so you can get your carbs in early in the day, so you can go to bed earlier, and then it goes from there. So sugar water is just like so powerful. It's so powerful. It's pH neutral, digests so well. It's so cheap, digests so well. Nothing digests better than sugar water. Nothing digests better than sugar. It's pH neutral, and it just soaks in. There's no colors in there. There's no flavorings. There's no preservatives. Unlike some of your sports drinks and gels, it's just in. So it's just fantastic. Experiment with it. Experiment with sugar water. Drink as much as you want, and notice how you crave. It's easier to eat low fat because you're like, I'm sort of satisfied. I'm satisfied. The analogy for women to understand: imagine if you're craving some male presence, some attention, but you're in a room by yourself, no social media, or you're on social media but no one's talking to you, versus you're at a club and the guys that you like are all over you, talking to you and like asking questions about yourself and deep dive and conversation with you. This is all right. This is pretty good. So it's like sugar. You're getting that satisfaction. Without the sugar, you're like in that lonely room with no interaction. And it's like, where's the attention? Where's the sugar? Where's the sugar? So when you have the sugar, life's great. Life's just great. Have enough sugar. Enough sugar. There's no such thing as too much sugar, unless you're trying to prove me wrong and eat a 10-kilo bag of sugar and rupture your stomach. But you can eat, even eating a kilo bag of sugar in a day, that's really freaking hard without some serious hunger. But if you can eat a kilo bag of sugar a day, you needed it. You needed it. So, yeah. People ask me how I have so much energy, then see me pour sugar in my juice and start freaking out. They tell me they can't wait until my metabolism catches up to me. like sugar's bad for your metabolism. You know what I mean? That's how idiotic people are. Sugar's bad for your metabolism. That's like saying cycling will make your legs huge. They make your legs huge. It's like, look at the Tour de France riders. Their legs are very, very skinny compared to the average person. If you walk up to someone like Chris Froome, or even some of the sprinter guys, and you put your leg next to theirs, chances are your leg's going to be bigger than theirs. Their legs can be very, very shredded and defined, but in terms of size, it's, most girls in the gym have quads bigger than Tour de France cyclists. Most girls in the gym, I see, have legs bigger than Tour de France sprinters. So yeah, this whole cycling makes your legs big, or sugar is bad for your metabolism, or sugar makes you fat. It's just hilarious. Hi, Durianrider. Will you do another debate with Drew Morg anytime? Anytime. I don't think Drew's doing it, unfortunately. I think Drew's a great moderator, and we had some good fun there. But I'm always keen. Always keen. If Drew, you're watching, or anyone's messaged him, always keen. I've got time for Drew. I've got time for anyone, actually, when it comes to debates. If anyone wants to debate me, publicly, not some anonymous troll. Like, you got to actually have an identity. We're gonna know who you are. Like that Lamont Large dude. No one knows what his real name is, and there's a reason for that. Police checks. So Do you think consuming only sugar water for a few days before a race is as good as light as possible? If it's just sugar, I would say no, because you need this. If you're normally consuming salt, you want to maintain that aldosterone level balance. So if you're just going, you salt, normal diet, and then you start having the salt, your aldosterone's going, whoa, you know what I mean? So you want to be having that 1 to 5 grams of salt a day. If you normally have that with your sugar. Have that with the sugar. But I would say, do a mix. You can try it out, but I find that the blood pressure could get a bit too low if you're just doing sugar water. So adding some salt just to maintain that. So yeah. What milk do I have with cornflakes? Often it's just water. It's just generally water with cornflakes or a low-fat soy milk with water. Or you can just blend up a little bit of oat and water. Does it make your own oat milk? How much fat and protein for muscle gain? 10 grams of fat a day and protein. It depends how much protein your body can absorb. If you're using, this, then your body can absorb a lot more protein. But if you're not, then extra protein is going to be stored as fat. So just focus on carbohydrate, low fat, and lifting with good form. And it takes time. And if you want to look like the steroid users, then you also got to do what they're doing. Aftren X doesn't use steroids. Yes, he does. All those guys who look that aesthetic, they all use anabolic steroids. And you can disagree with me, but you'll still be wrong. Where do you find high quality fruit? Fruit they sell in the grocery store is trash. It is. That's why I laugh when people say, "Oh, fruit's got too much sugar in it." So, which fruit is that? I'll buy it off you, twice the price you're buying it for. It's just like Thailand's got pretty good fruit in general. It's hard to get good fruit. You got to hunt for it. You got to hunt for it, and every week can be different. And when you find good fruit, take a photo of the box, take a photo of the sticker on it, and chances are the fruit from that farm will be pretty good. But be always I had some nectarines the other day. Natasha got them. I was like, these are really good. We looked at the sticker. It said Chosen on there. Chosen is the brand. So we know that the Chosen white nectarines are generally pretty good. So every season they come in, we get them. Durianrider, I feel like giving in and getting the jab to travel again. Should I? I'm traveling and I'm a pure blood. So you do what you want to do. It's your body, your choice. But you can travel. You can travel. You don't need to be coerced. You can travel without it. I could jump on a plane today and go to Thailand, do my little 10-day quarantine in the resort. Good to go. I've got no experimental meds in me. I'm from Canada. You can't fly. Then you go to the border to the USA and you go from there. It's as simple as that. Or there's ways around it. If you use a bit of lateral thinking, people, there's ways around it. Just think, carb up and think. There's ways around it. Can't say what they are, but just think before you think. Coercion ain't cool. We'll do one more question, 2 more questions here. Have you seen the Instagrammer Carolyn Deisler? What she's taking her diets? I see a girl. I don't know her personally. I've never met her, but I look at her and I see, I see eating disorder. I see someone who, I see someone who's struggling in life. I don't see vibrant energy. I see the forced stuff. So I feel that, I feel, I don't think she's really telling us what's really going on. And here's the thing: is like, why even follow those people? I mean, you follow them if you want some inspiration for photos in the tropics or whatever, or some food stuff. But they're not people that I would recommend following for dietary advice, because we don't really know what they're doing. Like, you know what I'm doing. You know what Natasha's doing. You know what Freely's doing, because I'll tell you what she's done. So just follow me, follow Natasha, and do that. Just because what happens if you follow people that might not be totally transparent about what they're doing? Maybe they're bulimic, maybe they're vomiting. I know Trelly's not, I know Natasha's not, you know. So I'm with these people like 24/7. I have been. So just listen to me, you know. Oh, you're not a girl. Yeah, but you know, I'm with the girls and I train the girls and this works. Just forget everyone else. Because otherwise you follow a bit of their shit, you follow a bit of my shit, and then their shit, it'll be like give you thyroid issues, and you're doing my shit, and it's like this isn't working because you're doing their shit. It's like forget all that stuff, you know, unfollow them, you know, because I mean, do what you want, but I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm just saying it's just going to confuse you. You know, it's a bit like me, you know, like building more muscle. And let's say I was a noob, and I'm like, I'm following someone like Athlete X or some fake daddy who's lying about using steroids. I'm like, oh, maybe it can be natural. Maybe if I just do that, you know, like, no, these people are lying to you. Follow the people who, but you can be hard because people can be good liars with drugs and what they're actually doing. There's a lot of bulimia going on out there. So, just, yeah, you want to just follow me when it comes to nutrition advice. Watch other people for comedy or entertainment or photos or photography lessons. These people take great photos, but if you want the life advice, just listen to me. You want steroid advice, then there's better people for sure. But if you're a girl and you want your best aesthetic self, your best life, this is the end game here. There's end stop. You know, that's just how it is. LA Meth Twitch, the little dog face. Have you been vegan for all these years, or you had some animal products? I have eaten pussy a lot, so maybe not technically vegan, but I've been vegan all these years. I've experimented back in the days with animal products. I've done it all, and that's why I can say with conviction, with absolute conviction, there's no need for any animal products. All right. Now, there might be an exception to some people out there who have a cholesterol deficiency. Then maybe eating some, like, which I don't have, which, you know, eating some eggs, which I don't. You know, some people out there may benefit from that, from a farm that, you know, is like free range chickens or like genuine. Then yeah, but all these people out there who are like saying, oh, you know, like I had to eat this or I had to eat that, and it's like, you know, you didn't have to, you just wanted to, and that's fine. But you know, own it. Don't try and trash vegan and say, oh, you know, vegan's bad, blah 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 blah. You know, like Maddie Limburner and Bonnie Rebecca, these people that had, you know, that I got on YouTube, I got them famous, you know, but they come from dancing backgrounds, and dancers generally have eating disorders, unfortunately, because it's just the way that culture is. So then you get these girls coming over to my protocol, and they don't fully disband the eating disorder mindset, and they're trying to get abs, and they're just doing stupid shit, and then they feel like shit, and it's like, man, it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know, what are you doing? Do I keep in touch with Josh Foshgreen or Chris Randall? Chris, I talk to now and then. Foshgreen, yeah, I haven't spoken to Josh for ages, man. Back in the days. What's happening, babes? I don't know. Here we go. It's now a sunglass jar. Thanks. Here we go. Say good day to the crew. No, that is a no. That is a no. That's another thing as well, is like when you're a social media person and you understand that women on social media, they have their moods. Like they have I don't want to do it now. I don't want to do it. That's why the women out there like Trisha Paytas, or there's that Twitcher freaking, what's her name, Amaranth or something like that. That's why they crush it, because they don't let their moods get in the way of putting out content. You know, that's why it's, yeah, like if you're a female out there and you can just crank out content, you're going to absolutely crank it. All right, LA Meth, which says, how do I get a legal exemption? I got a mask exemption. I can't say, on here how to do that, but I'm not sure where you live, but I think you're in LA, and you know, there's just ways around it. Can I even say that? No, I shouldn't say that. No, I'll take that back. There's no ways around it. You just got to do it. It's like there's this thing called lateral thinking. All right. So make sure you go and get your jab today. Get your boosters, people. There's this thing called lateral thinking. All right. There's this thing called lateral thinking. There's lateral thinking. Lateral thinking. Okay. Lateral thinking. Lateral thinking. Lateral thinking. Lateral thinking. You know? So yeah. Oh, Queensland, Australia. So they're in Queensland, Australia. Even easier. All right. Oh, what else? Easier. It's even easier to get the jab. Okay. Make sure you get your boosters today, people. Get your boosters today. So yeah, it's lateral thinking. You know, lateral thinking. A great one is to ask the question, like, let's say that, you know, the goal is to open this bottle top without using my hands. How do we do it? I could use my feet. I could get someone else to open the lid for me. You know, so there you go. You can laterally think. Laterally thinking, people. I've started cycling recently, and I'm really enjoying it. Fitness-wise, it's slowly improving, but I have a lot of. We've all got a long way to go. You know, it's all part of the journey. It's not about the destination; it's about the journey that matters. Really, the journey is the fun part. The destination's cool, but the journey is where it's really at. I'm gonna get going, gang. I do have to have a bathroom break. Last question here. Hey, mate, have you tried tea cream on your nuts? Any good? I have. I've used prescription grade tea. That's what a lot of professional cyclists and runners use because it's in quick and out quick. Take it at 8 p.m. You clean by the morning, low dose, recovery, boom. Another hard race or hard session. Next day, you're good to go. You're just going to recover from your sessions even better. But again, sugar, water, and sleep, that's the main thing. If I was an elite runner and I had the choice between early nights, sugar, iron pills, and B12, or late nights, not enough sugar and testosterone, I'd always choose no testosterone. I want the early nights for testosterone. I want the sugar, which also helps testosterone because you get enough carbs. Yeah, because cortisol lower in the evening, more testosterone release. So I'll be going with that. So there you go. There you go. So someone said, see a nurse that you went to school with. That's not going to work. I mean, that is lateral thinking, but no. But yeah, close, but no banana. Close bananas. Last question here. What vegan influencers other than yourself would you say have stayed true to their word and have integrity? I personally met Tim from Running Raw, meet up a couple of years ago, and he's a great person. I like Tim as well. Tim was a good dude. He got a little bit funny though at Woodstock because I don't think he liked how much fame I was getting. But no, I think Tim's a good guy. He gave me some good running tips, so I got time for Tim. But unfortunately, Tim, bit of an order going on there, you know. Again, Tim, I used to call him TDO. Go check out his channel. He just the E sort of man, like always trying to be so freaking strict. I don't try to be ripped. I'm not going to look like, oh, you know, like I'm going to get a bit leaner. No. That's not me. Not at all. Like I am lean as a side effect of my low fat eating and, you know, having a decent level of fitness. I'm a side effect of that. I don't like force myself to be lean, or that's just the dumbest thing ever. If you're trying to get more stripped abs, it's dumb. If they happen, they happen, but trying to force it is dumb. So Tim was trying to force that too much, and as a result, his performance suffered. And I was running as fast as Tim there for a while there, back when I was, you know, and I was training a lot less. So so I would say Tim, I could definitely make Tim a lot better runner than he is, but you know, he's a natural athlete. He's just one of those guys who was good back in the day, and I wasn't back in the day when I was 20. He was way fitter than me. But no, Tim definitely has got some great things to share, but unfortunately, his eating disorder, his sugar phobia, etc., it just killed his potential, man. It killed his potential. Tim Van Orden has great potential. He's a great speaker, very good speaker, but unfortunately, his fear of sugar, fear of caloric carbohydrate sufficiency, in my opinion, it's a limiter. It's like a car can't go over 200k an hour. Ferrari over 200 can't go 200. Once you pull that limiter off, boom, you can redline that mofo and crank up to 300 mile an hour. But that makes sense. Yeah, so Tim trained like 1,000 hours last year. 1,000 hours. I ran like 130k last year. So yeah. What's Mango up to? Mango is up in. Actually, we rode past Mango's house a few months ago. Well, he lives up in far north Queensland, and I haven't spoken for ages. He's a right guy. Mango's all right. But again, bit of an eating disorder limits his potential. But yeah, Mango's cool, dude. Yeah, all right, Mango. But yes, eating disorders, man. Like eating disorders, they just fuck people up, man. They fuck people up. That's why I'm all in. Eat as much carbs as you crave, as much fruit as you crave, as much sugar as you crave, as much white rice as you crave. Keep the fat low, good to go. We have very little need for much fat in the diet. I'm iron deficient. Iron tabs the way to go. Yes, Edie, Skylar, Middleton, Edie. I would get a test first, though, before you use iron. B12 is safe, but iron's not in high dose. So if you've got too much iron, taking more is banned. It's a bit liver toxic. So I would recommend get a ferritin test. Test your ferritin levels. If your ferritin is low normal, then taking around 300 milligrams a day, 300 milligrams of ferrous sulfate, etc. a day. Just follow the instructions at the back of the pack and do an iron course for maybe 3 months and then test again. So there you go. So yeah, but again, we want to look at why you're iron deficient. What's the cause there? What's the cause? Is it heavy beating from endo or PCOS because you're eating too much fat? Is it caffeine blocking your iron uptake? Is it you're overtraining? You're running too much in hard shoes and you're getting foot strike hemolysis where you're losing iron there. So we can treat the deficiency with iron, but what is the cause of that? Oh, it's not enough red meat. No, it's not. Like I don't eat red meat. I don't have an iron deficiency. I haven't eaten red meat since 1990. Was it 90, 2000? Maybe since 2000. Last time I had red meat. So iron comes from plants, but some people just lose a lot from etc. Their excessive bleeding, etc. When do we come back, Mariba? Not sure exactly. Mariba's good times though. Good times, Mariba. Okay, so this is a question here. I'm gonna get this is the last question. I'm really busting go to Tole. Hi everybody. For a high hemoglobin A1C, that's your glycated hemoglobin, would you recommend fasting and refeeding with high carbs? No, bro. I would recommend today, Jeff, get rid of all the oil out of your diet. No avocado, no meats, no animal products, no soy, only soy sauce because soy can be a bit fatty. Just base your diet on white rice, white sugar, sweet fruit, mangoes, cherries, berries, bananas, dates, etc., melon. Do my diet protocols, and your hemoglobin A1C will drop right down. Also, to speed it up, the insulin sensitivity coming back, increase the amount of walking you do per day. Get a bicycle and just ride around everywhere, and your hemoglobin A1C will be best ever. Watch my interviews with type 1 diabetics. Just type in type 1 diabetes durianrider into YouTube, and it'll come up. My interviews with type 1 diabetics. So that would make a big difference. We got a super chat here from Edie. Am I saying it right? Edie? Skylar. We'll call it Skylar. Is PCOS polycystic ovarian syndrome from a high-fat diet? Yes. PCOS can be really exacerbated by a high-fat diet. So if you have PCOS or endometriosis, keep your fat under 10 grams a day and watch the periods, everything get much, much better. All right? 100%. Because some women out there just produce a lot of estrogen, a lot of tests, and then eating more fat for some women can really make it even worse. Or they have an extra body fat on them, and that can cause a more aromatization of those hormones. So yeah. So if you're got a bit of fat on you already, you're going to aromatize more estrogen, more testosterone, and so it's going to really exacerbate things. So yeah, if you just start eating under 10 grams of fat a day, you're going to be really, you'll be good to go. Do I think fat from brown rice matters? No, not really, but white rice is better. White rice is better for weight loss than brown rice. Brown rice is good, but white rice is better. I mean, Freely cranks the white rice. Natasha cranks the white rice. Tori cranks the white rice. Skinny girls. You know, and it's not the training. I mean, training obviously helps with fitness, but it's like training helps with muscle tone and energy. But, you know, Freely hardly trains, and she's very, very slim. She still trains, though. Freely still rides very steep hills. Natasha does, Tori does. But only Tori's really cranking out some Ks. Not that she needs to either, but that's more for her aspirations, which is fine. But yes, the low fat's the most important thing. And if you want to speed up the results, jump on the bike, and explore, commute. So yeah, that's the deal there. All right, gang. I'll see you soon. Appreciate support as always. Give these videos a like if you want to push the algorithm out there, help spread the love, and I appreciate all the donations today as well. You know, my money's not going to crack cocaine. It's going to rice, fruit, bananas, and etc. Can you get fit from 20-minute run 4 times? For sure. But again, low fat is where it's at. Appreciate it, gang. And carb up, keep the fat under 10 grams a day. All the way, baby. All the way. Peace.